The tilt is real.
The tilt is real.
This is when the tilt is real.
Welcome to another episode of The Tilt is Real Fantasy Podcast. Coming to you live from the chef's table, here are your hosts, James Crease and Juan Pena. Let's go.
Welcome in, all you tilters. It is Sunday, and we are live here at the chef's table to help you out with your Sunday tilts. Joined with me, as always, my co-host, my brother in arms, Mr. Juan Carlos Pena. How you doing today, Big Papi?
I'm doing fantastic, Chef. We're talking about football. It's Sunday, it's Salute to Service, and it's Tua season. I'm amped today.
Had to throw that Tua in there, huh?
Tua and Salute to Service. Let's go. Fins up.
Fins up.
Yes.
I am not rocking my True Blue today because we play Monday.
Yep.
So I have a thing that I do not do it. If they're not playing, I'll wear a replica jersey, like not a replica, an old school jersey.
Right.
But no.
Not the live one. Yeah, you're not live today.
It's a little cold in Jersey, man. I got the thermal on. It's getting there.
On over top. Yeah.
And we have some bad weather across the league that we want to talk about. So you guys can win your leagues this week.
Yep. Go running back heavy. That's what you're telling them today, right, Chef?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, watch those pass catchers that you rely on week to week. It may get a little sketchy out there.
Yeah, wind affects the game more than people, pay attention to. Unless you're one of those guys like Mahomes or Josh Allen that could throw it through a tank. Like you need to, temper your expectations on deep throws and all that. And it's going to be a short game.
And we got some people in the chat. Shout out to the chat going on.
Brad
What's
Bolt.
up, Brad Bolt? How you doing down under, mate? I don't know. He does it better. This guy has a voice
Of an angel,
of
right?
an Aussie angel.
Yeah.
If you have not checked out Brad Bolt on Twitter, go ahead and follow him at Brad Bolt 1. He's the man that people just don't know about yet, man.
Yes, sir. Get on it.
Get on it. All right, so let's get into our Sunday slate. Mainly, let me just break it down for you like this. The buys this week are the Cardinals, the Washington football team, the Jags, and the Texans. So if you have any of those players in your lineup, take them out now.
Yep.
Also, if you have players that are in the late games or the Monday games, get them in your flex if possible. Things can happen in a snap of a finger nowadays in 2020
absolutely.
With everything going on. So we've seen injuries pop up out of nowhere. Players that said they're going to play and not playing. That's how it goes, and you have to be prepared for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, your Bucks and your Giants, you definitely want to slide into those flex spots as much as you can. So that way there's room for error. Like Scotty Miller was on the injury report all week, and now he's being moved back to active. So you never know with a groin, game time decision, that type of thing. So put him in your flex so you can pivot.
Okay, and the first game we want to get into, we'll start here on the East Coast. The New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills. It's a 1:00 game. The line, Buffalo giving 4 points. The over-under is 41. Ooh, we got some rain and some wind here.
Yeah.
And this is going to be going on throughout the country pretty much, except for here in New Jersey. Somehow it's nice
Lambeau.
here. Yeah, and Lambeau. Lambeau's going to be the warmest spot today in around the league, I think.
Except for Miami. It's
maybe
86 in Miami.
But there's rain.
Yeah, clouds.
A little bit.
Little clouds.
All right. So it's rain and wind of 22 miles per hour in this matchup. It is going to be a rough game for the passing game.
Yeah, expect to see a lot of groundwork, especially in the last 2 weeks. Like you gave up 103 yards to Phillip Lindsay, did the New England Patriots. And then last week you saw Jeff Wilson have a career day. And even Hasty, who came in and had 9 carries for 57 yards. Like the New England run defense right now is leaking. And I expect a heavy dose of the run game from Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, between Singletary and Moss, but how do you decipher which one gets the most? I mean, Moss, he had 47% snap share last week.
Right.
Against the Jets. I think you see more of Moss up against a stronger defense
Right.
in the Patriots.
Styles make fights a little bit, and I feel like Singletary matches up with Philip Lindsay and Jeff Wilson in that kind of sneaky scat back kind of style of running, and that's what's been gashing the Patriots. They've been getting hit by those guys that just make one cut and get up the field. So either one of the guys can have success, and that percent snap share that you mentioned, Chef, 53% for Singletary was actually the lowest so far that it's been this year. So maybe that was a case of the Jets game and them wanting to work Moss into it, but it could be more of a 50-50 split than people think. Both guys might be viable in that they may find the end zone after what we saw the Niners do to the Patriots last week.
And then key injuries are out. Julian Edelman is out of this one. N'Keal Harry has a concussion. He did not get cleared yesterday. I didn't see anything come up across the board. And I'll double check it right now if you want to talk about some things.
Yeah, they may wait till 11:30 before they declare him either active or inactive for the game. But I don't know that it even matters. Like, I don't see them throwing the ball at all. Like, I don't know if they're going to be able to get anything. He's going to get the Trey White treatment if he does play. So at the end of the day, like how much can you expect from him in this game?
Yeah, and if he doesn't go, you're looking at a train wreck of wide receivers: Damiere Byrd, Jacoby Myers, and Gunnar Olszewski. No, I'm not trusting any of these guys, Juan.
No, well, I don't trust Cam Newton right now, and neither does Bill. Like, it feels like he's been turning the ball over. He can't throw to the right. He's only throwing passes to the left-hand side for some reason. Maybe they're protecting that shoulder. Like, I don't know what's going on there, but it's a little bit suspect. And with the weather you mentioned, Chef, I wouldn't trust any New England offensive players right now. Maybe James White. Maybe
Damian Harris.
See, that's the thing. Maybe Rex Burkhead.
Yeah. Maybe Sony Michel starts today. Who knows?
If he got his knees back.
Yeah.
Because he was running with no kneecaps out there.
He's got knees on layaway, man, that guy.
Poor dude.
Oh, man. I feel so bad for Sony Michel.
And I feel bad for the New England Patriots running back owners because it really is like a conundrum. Like, who do you start? Like, which one's going to get the burn? Whose game is it? And it's really hard to predict it. But I wouldn't be shocked if it was a Rex Burkhead kind of game. I really wouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see Damian Harris get out there and truck some. I think he could do well against Buffalo this week.
Yeah, they've been surprisingly, soft against the run. They've had problems with their defensive linemen. They sat 2 defensive tackles a couple of weeks ago as like you weren't trying hard enough kind of punishment for that game against Kansas City. And you saw Hilaire go off on them. And a few weeks before, Darrell Henderson did it to him too. So there is a chance for somebody in New England to have success on the ground. I just don't know who.
So who are you taking in this one? I have the Bills winning.
Yeah.
And the spread with 4 points, I'm okay with taking the Bills and then sticking to the under because of the weather.
Yeah, agreed. Something like 21-17, 17-13, like an ugly little game. Like, yeah, that's definitely within the realm of possibility.
I'm going to call it. It's going to be 20-13 or 21-13.
I'll go 2016.
2016?
Yeah, 3 field goals. So it's a push for me.
Oh, three field goals?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pats get 3 field goals and 1 touchdown. Yeah.
Right on. That's pretty good. I like that. Okay. So moving on to the next. There's no rain in this one, thank God. Mm-hmm. But moving on to the next game, Titans versus the Bengals at 1:00 in Cincinnati. The line, Tennessee giving up 5.5, and the over/under 53.5. Let me just but it's windy. It's hella windy.
Yeah, but Derrick Henry's on the field, so he breaks right through the wind. He don't care.
He is like a windbreaker.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how the tacklers feel, like the wind bouncing off a windbreaker. Like the tacklers hit him the same way. He just bounced right off.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about this game, Chef, because they have that 53.5 point over/under, and Burrow's been lighting it up. You saw him, throw for 400 yards last week. So he's on fire, but they're missing 3 offensive linemen. And there's never.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Bengals are going to be missing 3 offensive linemen in this game. So that's something that has an effect, like where you haven't seen Clowney and those guys get to the quarterback. They might actually have a chance to get to Burrow this week if they're playing with 3 backups.
With those 3 backup linemen, do you expect Drew Sample, the tight end that we've seen Burrow target multiple times when he's up against the ropes and needs that outlet?
Right.
Do you see him more sticking to the line this week with those linemen there? Asking for a friend, I might have him in my lineup.
I do definitely see that as in the realm of possibility. They might go 2 tight end sets as much as they can too, to be able to like mitigate some of that pass rush. And it's going to affect Bernard because he may have to chip and then release a lot. So it might hurt his upside. I have him in a few DFS plays, and that worried me a little bit. I just heard that on the way here that 3 offensive linemen are out. So those little things change the ceiling on a team and on a player and the outlook.
Especially if those backups have been practicing as backups all week
and they're already
not running with the ones.
And they're already the backups to the Cincinnati Bengals starting offensive line, which has been better this year, but right. It ain't the Colts offensive line, you know what I mean?
So with the wind in this matchup, and we may go over this a lot, we are downgrading pass catchers a little bit and upgrading your running backs a little bit for those of you that have no idea how to judge that. That's rule of thumb, really.
Yeah.
Even guys like you're playing your studs, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
But if you'd rather take a shot in your flex with say you have a Gus Edwards or a Deontay Johnson,
right?
I may lean Gus Edwards because of the rain.
Right. Yeah, you could see it being a limited game. The only thing with that is some receivers have that bubble screen game and that little jet sweep game.
So it all depends on the receiver.
The scheme at the end of the day, and the position the receiver plays. I don't mind a guy in the slot if it's raining, and I don't mind the tight end too much in the rain because it's shorter passes, intermediate stuff that quarterbacks can control. It's those downfield John Brown types that might see a little bit of a struggle if they're not going to get that deep ball that you're relying on.
Okay. That makes sense. Joe Mixon is out in this one, and Juan mentioned it earlier with Giovanni Bernard getting the start there. Another questionable guy, cornerback Jonathan Joseph, may be out for the Titans. And if Jonathan Joseph is out for the Titans, I believe T. Higgins might have a nice matchup.
He's been having great games anyway, and you can see him becoming the focal point, and he's wearing, it's weird, Carson Palmer to Ocho Cinco again. Like, it feels like that, like Burrow to, T. Higgins, the same numbers, and it lines up, and it feels like a brand new, connection there, and a couple of guys that have a bright future, and you've been seeing it in the last couple of weeks with their production. I mean, rookies throwing for 400 yards doesn't happen all the time. And the Titans haven't, been completely shut down against the pass either. So it could be a good game if they can get the right plays off. Again, the wind and all that and how it affects it. And the offensive line, does he have time to throw it? We've seen him ad-lib and be able to buy time, Burrow. So look for a broken play maybe or something where he extends the play and finds T. Higgins. And they're both pretty effective today.
I like that on the wide receiver side of the ball. They're going to take the shots regardless of the weather.
Yeah. And Burrow's got a good enough arm to be able to throw the ball down the field. I don't think it's going to be to the point where it affects the game completely, where it shuts them down.
So on the other side of the ball with Ryan Tannehill, we have Derrick Henry there. Obviously, he's going to get work. Guy gets about 20 to 25 touches a game. But for the receiving side of the ball, A.J. Brown, we saw Corey Davis come alive a little bit last week when they were covering A.J. Brown heavy. Right. But then do we trust Jonnu Smith this week coming back? He's 2 weeks removed from his chipped up knee, ankle, I believe it was. Nothing on the injury reports. Nope. Full participation in practice all week long. Are you trusting him against this poor Cincinnati defense that gives up 12.6 fantasy points? They're third worst in the league against tight ends. Are we playing Jonnu Smith this week?
With full confidence, I am this week. Yeah, that, like you said, they're third from the bottom for a reason. It's the linebacking core isn't really good, and their safeties are nothing to write home about either. So if they don't get pressure on the quarterback, then the tight end, and in a game like this where Tannehill likes to manage it and keep it close and keep the ball short and play action and a lot of those dump offs, Jonnu, and he's a target around the red zone too. We saw it in the beginning of the season. He was scoring like crazy to start the season.
Yeah, this is actually the first time since the beginning of the season, I think week 1, where they had A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, Adam Humphries, and Jonnu Smith all healthy
full
again.
Arsenal. Yeah.
It's a full arsenal, and I feel bad for the Cincinnati Bengals, man, because they are going to feel the pain of a fully rejuvenated Titans offense.
Yeah, they were even able to put up points last week against the vaunted Steelers defense. So it's not like they weren't doing well, and now they have their full, arsenal of weapons. Like, yeah, it should be a very productive game for the Titans.
I'm taking the Titans in this one, even 100%. Though the Bengals have the home field advantage.
100%.
Yeah.
My man, Bud Johnson, get money, get paid. What's up, Bud?
Yeah, I put it up. I put him up there already. What's up, guys? What's up, Bud? Appreciate you dropping in, man. Ask a question.
He hasn't been really following it this year. He's been out
He's
of
off
it.
the wagon.
Nah, my man just became a real estate agent, so he's
Oh.
really busy
yeah,
all the
that's
time.
right.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah, he's focused, man.
All right. Our next matchup. And this is a nice one because I know you like a few pieces in this game, and I like a few pieces in this game as well. The Las Vegas Raiders travel to Cleveland. It's a 1:00 game. Cleveland, giving 2.5 points. I don't know why. And the over-under is 50.5.
Yeah, this feels like a push game. This feels like a completely even, it could go either way type of situation. But the Raiders coming off a bye and the way they've been playing football and the way they've put up fights against Kansas City and beat them. And now they're starting to get a little bit healthy too. And they have Ruggs, no injury report. Waller, no injury report. Jacobs, no injury report now.
Jacobs, was he clear? He was on there with the knee. I know that.
Yeah, he was cleared. So, and I feel
he's
like
going to play.
Right.
I knew he was going to play. You just have to put it up there.
Right. And then they have their offensive line intact again. And like I said, coming off a bye, they've been game planning for 2 weeks against this, like now Odell-less Cleveland Brown squad. So I feel like the Raiders should win this game, Chef. But I do look for some points to be scored in this game.
Yeah, I agree.
I love Ruggs over the top. There's going to be a shot taken. I love Waller's matchup too. I think he'll be able to have success all day long. And then this could be a heavy Jacobs game because the Browns defense has been opportunistic, but they've given up a lot of yards and a lot of points lately.
We're still waiting on the news in this one from Brian Edwards, whether or not he's going to play. And even if he does, I did some research on this. Even if he does play, you're not putting him in your starting roster. Nelson Aguilar will get those touches, and he'd be going up against Denzel Ward. We talked about that pre-show.
Yeah.
Like, that's a serious coverage problem.
Right.
The guy you want to play in this one, and I know it's going back and forth in the industry and who's saying what, but the guy you may want to play is like you said, Henry Ruggs. He's going to be flying around the field. He gets Terrence Mitchell this week. Terrence Mitchell's been giving away points. I think he averages something like 12 points per game just from him.
Yeah, just from his spot.
Just from his spot.
Yeah.
So and they may take turns on him.
Listen, 4-2 something. You know what I mean? Like this kid is a jet. You know, like I said earlier in the season, he's a big ass Tyreek Hill, and he's facing a corner that's running like a 4.5, 4.55. Like that, the speed just doesn't equate. Like it's not even close. It's not even. He's leaving. Just throw it up, man. Let him go get it.
Well, the real thing that I think is tricky here is because of the weather, and it's going to be raining in Cleveland, 25-mile-per-hour winds. Yeah. Do you really trust Baker? Do you really trust Derek Carr? And I know they both have pretty strong arms when they need to do short zip passes.
Right.
Will work in this weather.
Right. They could work. That's why I mentioned Waller, because Waller and the screen game and the bubble game to Ruggs could be something they use to just not put it all on Jacobs. But Jacobs might see 30 carries today. 25, 30 carries is definitely within the realm of possibility.
And then my whole point on this one is Kareem Hunt on the other side, the Raiders 30th up against the running backs, giving up 25 fantasy points per game. I mean, if you have Kareem Hunt, you're obviously starting him anyway, but you should feel pretty happy this week for having Kareem Hunt in a rain game.
Yeah. Yeah. Both running backs, I think, should have success, and that's what the game will be like. It'll be one of those back and forth games. The Raiders, remember, like when they beat the Chiefs, they were able to drop those two safeties deep. So they're to make up for the young secondary and the fact that their corners aren't great and they're not generating too much pass rush. They play a lot of deep zone. So those draw plays, delayed handoffs to the running back, they're getting gashed on those type of runs.
Sorry, I'm just checking for news. We got let's see here. We got a question. If the Browns get rid of OBJ, where is he going? Is he coming back the same off the injury? What do you guys think? You know, that's my dude.
Yeah, he loves Odell. He's an Odell truther and an Odell fan, and for good reason. He's an amazing, football player. What do you think he does? I don't think he comes back there.
I actually think he does.
You think so?
And this is the reason why he will be coming back next season. The way his contract is structured, they will actually be 3 days late coming off a medical. So yes, he will be a Cleveland Brown next year. They would have to trade him after he comes off a medical. They can't trade him while he's hurt.
And then will they take a cap hit? I guess
they'll take a cap hit if they trade him. So they'll probably keep him around one more year.
Wow.
And let him fade into dust.
I don't. He don't.
I don't know.
He'll make. I think he makes a comeback. He's still too young to fade in the dust, and he's too talented. And now he's going to be motivated to come back stronger than ever. I just don't like the fit there in Cleveland, and I wish he would go somewhere else, maybe like a Green Bay.
No, that's too much personality for Green Bay. They'll never do that.
Yeah, they don't trade for players. You're right.
Yeah, but they might be training for Will Fuller.
Yeah.
We talked about that on Wednesday.
Yeah, that would make sense there.
All right, so who do you have in this one? Do you have the Raiders or the Browns?
Yeah, I like them coming off the bye, and then the Raiders coming off the bye, and then the Browns having to adjust to no Odell and play the full game, and their defense, like you said, third from the bottom against the tight end and against the pass. Really, like they're really down at the bottom quarter. So yeah, I'm gonna like the Raiders to win this game.
I like the Raiders as well. I think Darren Waller finally after the bye gets his targets, especially with the rain. I like the receiving group. I like Henry Ruggs in this one to break open and gash Cleveland. But I think it's going to be a score fest on each side of the ball. I don't think that either team will hold and stop. They're not, besides the weather, which is a main deterrent in this one. But yeah,
you still get your points though. They're still going to be able to run the ball, and like you said, that short game works down there in the red zone to Waller near the goal line, and the little sneak bubble screens and jet sweeps and all that type of gadgetry will work down there near the goal line. So I expect points to be scored. Neither defense, unless turnovers happen with Myles Garrett, who's been forcing like one a game. So that's the only thing that could change it, but it's still going to be high scoring.
Yeah, I like the Raiders in this one, and I think they. I don't know. I'm staying away from the over-unders on a lot of these games this week because you just don't know what's going to happen. And
missed field goals with the wind and the rain,
fumbles, penalties, and if anything, I would take the under and hope from a fantasy standpoint, you want your running backs to do really well and your wide receivers hopefully catch something.
Right.
But from a football standpoint, we know when it's rainy and it's windy, it's not a good.
The scores come down.
Yeah, the scores come down. That's when the real grit on the offensive lines and the defensive lines.
This is going to be one of those games where if you watch it, it's going to be like 3 yards in a cloud of dust a lot or a puddle of rain a lot. But yeah.
And for all those people that bash Baker Mayfield on a weekly basis, even though he has won games, if he comes out and beats the Raiders today, okay, then that's enough. You should stop talking trash. I mean, hey, they beat the Chiefs.
They're still going to do it. They're still going to do it.
Yeah, people just hate him. They either hate him or love him.
Yeah.
Quick question here from Kelly Ann. She wants to know, what about my boy Deshaun Jackson? When will he be back?
3 or 4 weeks for sure.
I think he's done.
Really?
I think he's done.
I know they put him on the short IR for now, but I don't know what's going to happen there.
I think Jalen Reagor might actually come in and take over that spot. I mean, if they make it to the playoffs, then Deshaun Jackson will most likely be there.
Yeah.
This is probably his last season.
For sure. Yeah. Reagor's the replacement, the natural replacement. And Fogel might have replaced Alshon Jeffrey.
Sure enough.
So they might actually have the future. They might actually have found their future. And Goddard
comes back today, and we'll get into that later on in the show. But that's the things are just starting to piece together for those Eagles. I mean, I know, and they hung tough. They've hung tough through some bad injuries.
Yeah,
like reading those injury reports from the Philadelphia Eagles, man, you start falling asleep. The list is that long.
Yeah, them and the 49ers surprisingly have fought through a lot of injuries, and they're the most like. For me, I know everyone's been ravaged by injuries and every team's been hurt, but like the Eagles and the Niners feel like the ones with the longest list.
So we're going to go to a game next. And this game that we're on here, Colts versus the Lions, it's played in a dome. We're not worried about
this is
anything going on. They're in Ford Field. Indianapolis giving 3 points. The over-under is 50. Questions about Adrian Peterson. He had some abdomen pain going through the week, and I wonder if that helps out your boy DeAndre Swift.
I think it does. Either way, he's a cyborg, so he might play through the injury, Adrian Peterson. You know what I mean? He's not going to miss time probably, but even if he plays, like he may be a little limited, and it's been Swift season a little bit the last couple games, and you've seen that, and they're going to need it to be because that Colts linebacking core and that Colts defense, they fly around to the ball, and Darius Leonard is back, so they're going to need the speed of Swift if they're going to have any chance to break any kind of big runs and get the ball going. the running game going.
Yeah, I just double checked on it. Adrian Peterson is playing today.
Yeah.
But he's in a tough matchup regardless,
Oh,
up against
sure.
one of the toughest defenses in the league.
Oh yeah, DeForest Buckner plugging up the middle, and like I said, Darius Leonard right behind him. Like that's a tough team to play against for sure.
But we've seen teams do it. We saw that even James Robinson.
Yeah, he did okay. Like you know, they've had games where they've given up some, but again, Darius Leonard's been out, so I expect them to be even better. They're coming off the bye too. They're well rested. They're focused. They've been paying attention to the Lions, scouting them for the last 2 weeks, and I feel like it's a pretty safe bet that they win that game unless Phillip Rivers turns the ball over too much.
I mean, even Kareem Hunt got 72 yards against them.
Yeah.
So it can happen.
Yeah, I'll take that from Swift, 72 yards, and then get a little involvement in the passing game. You've been seeing him get some catches. So if he gets anywhere around 5 or 6 catches, then Swift is a decent flex play for sure this week.
Who you got? You got Swift or Deontay Johnson in your flex?
Right now, that's a 2-flex league. They're both in. It was Mims that I was thinking about.
Oh,
I was thinking about Mims, but I'm going to leave Swift in there. I'm going to trust that he's going to get some involvement in the passing game, and I think they're going to have to throw the ball. Chef, you mentioned off air that you expect the Colts to be up a little bit, you know, and for Stafford to have to be slinging it towards the end of the game. And last week you saw him in garbage time; he got over 300 yards. Kenny Golladay got over 100 yards receiving. So, yeah, they're going to have to throw the ball, and I think Swift gets enough of that.
Yeah, I think between and going forward, I think the 3 guys that you want from this Detroit offense is Swift. We've talked about that. Adrian Peterson as a low end flex play if need be, due to injury, whatnot. Golladay obviously is solid, and TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah.
Even though TJ has a bad matchup this week,
yeah.
You could still trust him going forward. And he's going to be great if you're in dynasty leagues. That's the way to go.
And even in a tough matchup, you've seen Stafford force it into Hawkinson. He really doesn't care. That's one of his favorite targets down near the red zone, and they'll find a way to scheme him open and get him some looks down in the red zone. And a touchdown with a tight end is huge. It just changes.
And we talked about this. Shout out to Fantasy Intervention. Join our circle _.
Yes, sir.
With the underscore.
We love
the squad and Brad Bolt who added in the chat earlier. Is a part of that. We discussed we have our fantasy 6-pack, and I believe I talked about TJ Hawkinson as my guy this week. He leads, it's a crazy stat. He leads them in receptions, in targets, and in receiving touchdowns.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, target down in the red zone. I mean, Golladay missed some time, so eventually it'll be Golladay that takes the lead on that. But in the meantime, he's been the one that's filling in. And like I said, he's a favorite of Stafford, and he squeezes it into him, and he goes to him late in the game. You saw that last week.
He trusts
the game-winning touchdown. Yeah,
he's trusting him, which is great. Second-year tight end.
Yeah,
he's going to be a smash.
He looks the part, man.
Quick question here from Zach. What's up, Zach? He wants to know Gallman or Harrison Bryant in your flex.
Oof, you're in a tough spot, cousin. But Harrison Bryant's got to be the play. I don't like any running back against that Tampa Bay defense, man. I can't. Like, you have to at least take a chance that Bryant finds the end zone again.
I would go Bryant here, mainly because we don't know what's going on with Devontae Freeman. Last I heard, he's fit to play.
Yep.
He's questionable, and it's a Monday night game. You don't want to go and wait for the last minute. Unless you have Devontae Freeman, you won't know which one to put in, and they may split carries because of the injury regardless. So you can't count on those points. What you can count on is Harrison Bryant being on the field today, and possibly catching a few passes and maybe falling into the end zone.
Right. That's the upside with a tight end. He falls in the end zone and you're good. I mean, it's a tough spot that you're in, taking a chance on a supposed to be second string tight end, because I know Njoku thought he was going to be the starter, but I don't know if it's not both of them all the time, the same way Minnesota ran last year with 2 tight ends. Like, they love that personnel. So Brian has a better chance of falling in the end zone. Again, that Bucs defense just scares me. What they did to Aaron Jones, what they did to Jacobs, like, they shut people all the way down. Aaron Jones and Jacobs, neither one got over 20 yards against them, dude.
Yeah.
And you're talking about Aaron Jones and Jacobs. So Gallman, I'm sorry, but I don't see the success happening.
Yeah, no, their defensive line is better than what the stats read.
Absolutely. And the stats read pretty well, but they're better than that.
Yeah.
And the linebackers are crashing down, and Antoine Winfield is coming down from the to the box. No Gallman for me on that one.
All right. So back to the Colts and Lions. Just to finish up real quick. I'm taking a shot on T.Y. Hilton this week. Coming off the bye, he's he's going up against a banged up Desmond Trufant,
Mhm.
who we haven't really seen on the field too much. He hasn't made it out there.
Yep.
And if he comes back, do you think he comes back 100%?
I don't think so. And another thing is like that bye week against Chef, to your T.Y. Hilton point, like it makes perfect sense that they would scheme him back open. They need to get him involved if they're going to take the next step and be a real contender. And that's what they're thinking about being with that defense. They're going to need T.Y. As they can't just Marcus Johnson you to death and surprise you over the top, which might happen because
Right.
Marcus Johnson's been playing great. But T.Y. should be the focal point, like they said in the beginning of the season, focal point of the offense.
So after the bye, getting back into it,
Yep.
and the biggest focal point of the offense, and we're all waiting for it, is the Jonathan Taylor breakout game. And I think we are poised to see it happen today against the Lions. They are 29th against running backs, giving up 25 points to the running back for fantasy. Those are fantasy points. This is a fantasy football show.
Indeed.
So if you know we're talking numbers, that's what we're doing, unless otherwise specified.
Yes.
Jonathan Taylor, I don't even see Nyheim Hines in this one getting more than 20% of the snap share.
Yeah, he might get 20% of the snap share, but anything over 60% for Jonathan Taylor is good. Anything over 15 carries, and he can get to that 100-yard mark because he can gash you at any point. And Detroit has been susceptible, like you said, to the running back. When you're giving up that many points to running backs, it's because there are problems on your defense. And the Colts would love nothing more than to run it down their throat and not even have Phillip Rivers throw it too much. You know, they'd like to focus on that running game. And like you said, we've been waiting for it. And it happens. Look at DeAndre Swift coming out of the bye. Bang, has his game. Coming out of the bye, expect Jonathan Taylor to have his game today.
That's a great one.
I have him everywhere too.
Just a quick note. I know we already talked about the Lions a little bit, but I am, as much as Matt Stafford has been putting up fantasy points, if you have a healthy pivot.
Yeah.
I'm not trusting Matthew Stafford up against this Colts defense.
No, like I said, they've been waiting for him for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They've been game planning against them for 2 weeks. So if you have to do it, you got to start Kenny Golladay, even though he's getting Xavier Rhodes. Like you got to start him anyway. And you might have to start Stafford because you said, like, you might be the Kyler Murray or Deshaun Watson owner and what other, Matt Stafford's a pretty good pivot if you own one of those guys.
And then to jump back over to the Colts side, and then we'll take our pick. Well, I think we already know who our pick is. It's the Colts. Yeah. Okay. Good. Just one more note on the Colts: Trey Burton, Jack Doyle, Mo Alley Cox. They are all back healthy, and I am not trusting either one of them.
Nope.
Due to that reason, because you don't know who it's going to be. I would love to say it's Trey Burton. He looked good.
He's been on fire, but he's only been on fire when Mo Alley Cox was out.
And Mo Alley Cox was on fire when he was in. Right. So we don't know. And Jack Doyle he shouldn't be owned anywhere.
Odd man out. He's the Cameron Brate of that trio. When you saw like OJ Howard, Gronk, and Brate, like he's the Brate.
Unless you're in a 16-team or 20-team league, you don't own Jack Doyle, and you shouldn't.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah, but out of the other two, either one, whoever gets the most looks, but we won't know that until after this game.
And Detroit is surprisingly good against the tight end.
Not too bad.
So I would trust with them leaning towards the run game more than anything else, and playing defense and kind of staying away from the tight ends. And I'm going to look at that this week in particular to see which guy gets the carries. I mean, gets the touches.
Yeah, the snap
the
share
targets
is going to be
rather.
Yep.
All right, let's go to Lambeau.
Let's go to Lambeau.
Oh, it's going to be cold in Lambeau.
You said it was going to be nice in Lambeau today.
Maybe I was joking. I don't know. Hang on. Talk about the line real fast, if you can.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So the line in this,
look at this.
The Packers are favored by 7 points right now. They're 7-point favorite, and the over/under is 50.5. The last time these two teams played, this is a rematch from Week 1, and I believe the score was 43-34, if I'm not mistaken, in that first game. So a lot of points. The Packers were up throughout the whole game. They were up through 3 quarters, and then the Vikings made a push once the Packers went to that vanilla soft defense. They kind of let them back in it, but there were a ton of fantasy points scored in that game. And the big one was Devontae Adams. He had 14 catches for 156 and 2 touchdowns. Like, boom, Week 1 he was here, and then he got injured, didn't play, and we didn't see him again until last week, and then he went off again. So this could be a big Devontae Adams game, just like it was in Week 1.
I oops. we might see some snow. That's how fast the weather changes in Green Bay.
Wow.
We may see a little bit of precipitation in the beginning of this game, and I have to look at it like,
You know what we should have done, dude? Real quick, we should have DM'd at Yake and Bake Uncle Phil and see what he said because he's up there.
yeah,
You know, and he could have told you, he could have stuck his head out the window.
stick
and
his
said,
head out the window.
Yeah, and let you know.
So I got to think about this. So they're in Central Time Zone.
Right.
Okay, so it's 10 a.m. over there now because it's almost 11 o'clock here.
Right.
So by 1 o'clock it will be 12 o'clock there, right?
Right.
All right. So yeah, we may see a little bit of wind, cloudiness, and the wind, dude, it's everywhere. 24-mile-per-hour winds.
Oh boy.
Oh, we are dealing it. If you're not playing in a dome this week, you're screwed.
Yeah, I mean it's football weather though. It's November. It's supposed to be cold, that cold November rain and all that snow, man. It's supposed to be that time of year. And you know what? I don't think it stops Aaron Rodgers. I don't think it slows him down whatsoever. What does hurt that offense is Aaron Jones being out. And we're going to see him miss his second game in a row. And it's not looking good, man, for Aaron Jones.
And Minnesota not being too bad against the run. I mean, middle of the pack.
Right.
I think it's a tandem duo between Jamal Williams and A.J. Dillon. I think A.J. Dillon starts to see a little bit more work this week. They're not playing who they played last week, so I think Dillon gets another shot.
Yeah, you don't play Houston every week, but like, there's a chance that happens, and we've been calling it for a couple weeks, and I just want to see him get 10, 15 carries. Like, you know what I mean?
10 carries would make me happy.
Right. Just to get a good sample size, to get another good look. He looked pretty good in a short stint against Tampa Bay a couple weeks ago, but I'd like to see him get a little bit of burn.
Oh, hell, what's going on? What's the lock this week? I think that's what he's saying. Let's go. Bud Johnson wants to know, what's the lock this week? What game am I putting my money on? Ooh.
I mean, I don't know that there's ever a lock in the NFL because of the whole.
There's never a lock per se.
I mean, the Chiefs are going to beat the Jets. Newsflash.
Yeah, the newsflash,
but that's not going to get you any kind of money. So
I mean, we're really not a gambling show, but we do gamble. I mean, if you want to give some insight, I like the Steelers with getting 4 points in Baltimore. I think that's something that is nice, and I'm taking the unders with that, and I'm parlaying that, and that's part of one of my bigger parlays of the week.
Yeah, I like the Colts to win their game coming off,
and that was the other half. Yeah, the Colts.
Yeah,
the Colts.
I like the Colts
covering
to win their game, man.
And I believe I picked the under in that one as well. Can't remember.
Yeah, I've got the Saints winning. I've got the Bills beating the Patriots. Like, those are a few games that I feel pretty
50.
good about.
So I took the Colts and the Steelers to cover the spread and the under in both games.
I like the Titans to win their game against the Bengals and cover. There's a few games there that I feel like locks to me. I like the Saints later on tonight too. I'm gonna put them in all my parlays too. I like them to beat
Saints
the Bears.
And the unders.
Yeah, to beat the Bears. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's going to be windy in Chicago as well, and the wind is swirling all across the nation.
Mm-hmm.
And just to come back to this Packers game real fast, obviously you're playing Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Darius. No, you're not playing Darius Shepard. Why is that on the show sheet?
No, I didn't put it there, but yeah, no.
Oh man,
no, we're not playing Darius Shepard.
Oh man, even against that Minnesota.
See, that's the thing.
Pass defense,
listen,
though?
One of those guys is going to make somebody a millionaire today, probably.
Yeah,
Darius Shepard or MVS
in
the DFS, like, is going. One of those guys could make you a millionaire. It could be Marcus Johnson. It could be Denzel Mims. But there's going to be a flyer somewhere. And why not against that porous Minnesota defense? Why couldn't it be MVS or Shepard that does it for you?
And what about Robert Tonyan? He played the disappearing act last week. Really didn't put up anything to write home about.
No.
And then he gets a favorable matchup here against Minnesota. Do you think he gets a little bit of action?
I think he might fall in the end zone. I don't love the play, but if you have to play him this week because of the buys again, you might as well give him a go. I like Robert Tonyan to find the end zone though. Like, it's either him, like, it feels like it's him or Sternberger, like, every week, one or the other. Like, when they get down in the red zone, Rodgers is starting to look for the tight end a little bit more without Aaron Jones being around to gobble up all those touchdowns. So it could be a Tonyan type of week.
And then on the other side of the ball, Kirk Cousins. Are we trusting Kirk Cousins in bad weather?
Nope.
No.
No, I'm
You-
actually taking streaming the Packers D this week, and they were my up Blitz Creek without a paddle because he's got 3 multiple interception games already, and in 2 of those it was 3 interceptions. So he's turnover prone already. Jair Alexander's playing ball. They have Kenny Clark back on
Kevin
defense
King doing his thing as
on
well.
the other side,
Yeah.
right? So it could be a bad day for Thielen and Justin Jefferson unless they break some sort of a big play. It could be a rough day for them. I think it's your boy Dalvin Cook and nobody else.
I love to hear that. And if anybody that's watching knows me, I am a Dalvin Cook truther. I picked him to be the RB3 that finished inside the RB3 category this year in the offseason, and I think he's back. He's healthy, and he's going to rip Green Bay a new one today, man. I really do. They are so bad against the run. They have given up a lot, and I think they give up a lot to Dalvin Cook. They can't stop him. They can only hope to contain him.
Correct. The Green Bay strategy is probably going to be let them go 20-20 and kick field goals, because Dalvin Cook's inevitably going to get his.
Yeah, and that offense funnels through Dalvin Cook.
For sure. Everything runs off of it. The play action game, everything goes off of Dalvin Cook being in the game. They're a completely different team when he's playing than when Madison was in last week. It's a completely different team.
Yeah, and we won't even get into Mike Boone. Yeah. All right, so who are you taking? I'm taking Green Bay in this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Green Bay keeps it rolling.
Oh,
sure.
we got a question coming in here from Jay. Jay wants to know, what's up, brothers? Rager, Parker, or Ruggs?
Or Gus Edwards.
In the flex.
He said the tilt is real this week. Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't even tilt that hard. I go Ruggs. There's our esteemed executive producer, Mr. Swanson.
Hey, what's up, bud?
Looking like a daylight savings nightmare. Sorry.
That's okay.
Good gravy. Yeah, change the clocks. No problem. Go back an hour. Sure. Go back 4 hours. Mr.
What?
JP. I don't know.
That's awesome.
Good morning, guys. Happy
morning.
Sunday.
Good morning.
Happy Sunday.
So it's 6 a.m. for you? Bright and early.
Yeah, something
We're
like
in.
that. It's like 6 a.m.
What are you in Hawaii?
Somewhere close out there. I'm like somewhere.
got Hawaiian time going on?
He's in
California
Australia
and
with our
Japan.
man Brad Bolt, bro.
That's
No,
right.
I think it's like I don't know. I think
Cap.
it's like 8 o'clock at night over there already.
Oh, he's got to
Is
stay
it
up
really?
late to
Yeah,
watch the
yeah.
games. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that is late. Ooh.
I'm not
Yikes.
positive on that time. Brad would be able to fill in better if he's still on watching. But
Yeah, what time is it? I should have asked him.
Hey.
all right, let's get into this question. He said, Rager,
up, bud?
Parker, Ruggs, or Gus Edwards in his flex. The tilt is real this week, and yes, it is. But I'm leaning Ruggs in this one, and I hope you're not playing me in this.
I'm checking right now.
Jay. But either way, it's Ruggs for me. We talked about it earlier about Rager. We don't know his usage coming off the injury. It was a thumb injury. We don't know how well he's going to be catching the ball. I think they threw him into play a little bit more since Deshaun Jackson was hurt last week. And they need all the help they can get going forward. So yeah, I'm leaning Ruggs.
Yeah, I like Ruggs. I like the matchup that you said earlier.
The Terrence Mitchell matchup.
Terrence Mitchell, there's a chance that he breaks it over the top and they get him. Rager may get the same kind of usage where they might see a lot of the bubble screens, jet sweeps, and all that type of stuff. Both guys lend themselves to that. They have the skill set to be utilized that way. But I think that Ruggs has the better boom chance. And all these guys right here are either a boom chance or the Edwards floor. But I don't trust the Edwards floor that Dobbins doesn't actually get the workload, and we get to see a little bit of J.K. Dobbins today. So I think Ruggs. Oh, and Parker has Jalen Ramsey. Ugh.
Yeah. Stay away from Parker today.
Yeah, Parker's got Ramsey. Yeah, I think it's Ruggs too, man. I agree with what you said about Rager and his usage, and Gus. I think too. I think we're going to see more JK today.
I'm on the other side of it,
hope.
actually. I think Gus Edwards is actually going to get more of the work, the more experienced guy
In my
against
head.
stronger defense. And we're all, in our hearts, I think we're all hoping that J.K. Dobbins has a heck
That's
of
what
a
it
day.
is.
But
It's a
we
heart
have
thing.
to, yeah, I just think Gus Edwards is a little bit bigger, and he's going to be able to push through the tackles a little bit better than
Filling
than
that
J.K.
Ingram role.
Dobbins. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. I don't see the Ravens passing too much in this one.
Yeah, they
I-
haven't netted 200 passing yards as a team in 4 of their last 5 games.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah, their passing game just hasn't looked in sync, and they're coming off the bye, but they're playing the Steelers, and that it's a rough matchup, and it's gonna be raining.
All right, so we got another question.
I was
His
gonna say
wife
it's
wants to
Spain
know,
and,
and I like
Baltimore.
that couples that play fantasy football together stay together.
Indeed.
Sabrina
do.
wants to know Mark Andrews or Jared Cook.
Cook, your boy.
I'm going Mark Andrews in this one, even though against the tough matchup. Jared Cook is playing up against the Bears, and it's going to be tough for both of these guys, but I think Mark Andrews gets a little bit more work. I think the Ravens have a better chance to be inside the red zone than the New Orleans Saints against the Bears this week. I just do. I know it's totally different than most people would say, but
no. Actually, I mean, you have to take the more talented guy and the guy that you drafted first. And
right.
I don't love the matchup for either one of them going up against those great linebackers. You're talking about Roquan Smith or Danny Trevathan sticking Jared Cook or Patrick Queen sticking. Or Terrell Edmonds coming down on the box and sticking Mark Andrews. So they've been making tight ends go away. They made Ertz go away. You know, that Pittsburgh defense, they made Jonnu go away last week. So, like, it scares me about Mark Andrews, but he's on the better offense with the most likely, path to scoring fantasy points. So I'm going to go Mark Andrews.
What do you think, Mr. Swanson? Andrews or Jared Cook?
Steelers have only allowed one tight end touchdown this entire season.
They make them go away.
Yeah.
One touchdown to a tight end. And that was versus the Broncos in week 2.
Yeah.
Yikes. And on the other side of the ball, the Bears have only, allowed 4 touchdowns too. So I guess at that point, it's not a big enough spread to really make me want to go Cook. So I would think I'd go talent over here, despite the tough matchup, and go with Andrews.
Yeah, I agree.
You right? Yo, right.
Next question coming in from Matthew Hancock, joining us from
Matt.
YouTube. Thanks for joining in, Matthew. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you, and we go on every Wednesday and Sundays here for The Tilt is Real. Matthew's question today is JaMycal Hasty or DJ Dallas? And I'll if you don't mind, I'll start this one off because I'm researching this one. I have this same predicament in a couple of my leagues. And this is a wait and see moment for me. And as the news has been coming in over the past 24 hours, I've been sticking close to this game because it's all about who's healthy. And apparently McKinnon, he had something going on with his knees. And I wrote it here in the show sheet, WTF, because he's dealing with tired legs. And that was actually the injury report, dealing with tired legs. So if you have Jerick McKinnon, you're nervous.
Right.
And you may want to play JaMycal Hasty. But here's the kicker. Tevin Coleman coming back today. He is set to play today. We don't know how much work he's going to get.
They said he's back?
Yes, he is back.
Oh, wow.
He is set to play. I mean, you wait until we have about a half hour left before the official actives and inactives come out. You watch Tevin Coleman. I know how the San Francisco 49ers work. They will sneak him in there right at the last second. This new IR thing is really tricky.
Right.
Because you put him on IR and you can literally place him off of IR the same day he's going to play.
Right. He was practicing with the ones earlier in the week, which was what baffled me because Wednesday we were talking about it. And if he's practicing with the ones, you would think that he was gonna play, and then throughout the week they left him on IR all the way up until the last minute.
And the Eagles did the same thing with Jalen Reagor all week.
Right. So if you do something along those lines, it might be like a card up your sleeve kind of Shanahan trying to be tricky. And did you see Jeff Wilson coming? No. Did you see McKinnon coming? No. So like they always do that to you, like the element of surprise, and it could be a Tevin Coleman game. Hasty, what I like is that he's had 9 carries 2 games in a row. And last week he was able to get 50+ yards out of that. So 57 yards, I think. So when you see that kind of production and you see that you like the upside, but you're also watching Chef the DJ Dallas situation.
Yes. And this is the whole thing. Chris Carson, we thought he was going to be out.
Game time decision.
He is a true game time decision. And the one thing Matthew is lucky here with is that he has them in the same game together.
Right.
So if you know that Chris Carson is out, Travis Homer has been not practicing all week. We know Carlos Hyde is out with an ankle ailment, and there we go. DJ Dallas is the only viable guy that you're going to want, and he's going up against a tough 49ers run defense, but I looked back at some of his numbers. He's getting receiving work in the beginning of the season.
Right.
So, and I think they are going to pass more here with him. So I'm just worried about the little pass pro problem he might have.
He does have a little bit of that.
Just because he is a rookie,
Right.
but I think he does get some passing work. I think he gets, if he's the starter, I think he gets about 45 to 50 yards. And if he catches 5 balls for you for 30 yards, you're in business.
Right.
And that's all you want out of your flex. So I'm leaning DJ Dallas if Carson doesn't play. And I'm staying close to that, to the wire on the 49ers backfield, whether or not JaMycal Hasty is the guy to start there. I like the DJ Dallas side if Carson doesn't play.
If Carson doesn't play, that's the caveat right there, though. If Carson plays, I pivot and go Hasty.
Yeah.
Just because the 49ers could surprise you. And nine carries 2 weeks in a row leads me to think this could be 19 carries this week. Like, he could be the main.
And Carson has a track record of actually playing through some injuries. So
yeah, but then
he may push it.
Last week when he first got hurt, he didn't all the way go out. He was standing there with his helmet on the sideline like he was itching to come back in the game. They just didn't put him back in.
All right. Next question. Thank you, Matthew, for joining in, man. On ESPN. Oh, wait. He says Coleman is put as the RB1 on the depth chart. Yeah. There you go. So
he was practicing with the ones all week, man.
Like I said, I like DJ Dallas, and if Tevin Coleman is available in your league, you may just want to go pick up Tevin Coleman. He was on the waiver wire heroes sheet, I believe, this week. All right, another Tevin Coleman question. Giuseppe Russo on Facebook. Thank you for joining us, Giuseppe. Start cool Tevin name. Coleman.
Dope.
Yeah. Start Tevin Coleman or drop him for Traquan Smith,
Gallman, Mims, or Harrison Bryant, PPR league.
Oh, it's a drop question.
Yeah. Do you start Tevin Coleman or you drop him for one of those other options? If he's the starter and he's the go, I'm starting Tevin Coleman. That team
100%.
That team produces a 100-yard running back every time they let somebody get the bulk of the carries. And
I would rather take my shot with Tevin Coleman. You know, Tevin Coleman, if he is playing today, he is going to get some kind of work up against a porous defense in the Seattle Seahawks. Right. And all these other guys are dart throws.
I was going to say,
some are good.
I would hold.
Some are good. Yeah. So if you had, outside of this question, if you had to choose between Traquan, Gallman, Mims, or Bryant, who are you starting out of all 4 of those?
Mims.
Real quick.
Mims.
You're going Mims?
We like Mims.
I'm trying to hit a home run.
I know you guys
try to hit the home run. That's exactly right.
So, I know you guys like Mims. I think I would lean Traquan just because he's the only guy. He's got a more talented quarterback, and he's not on the Jets.
But he's
I hate
going
myself
up against,
for picking on the Jets so much.
Yeah,
but I know he's going
against the Bears.
Yeah, I know. But
in Chicago, in the wind of 22 miles per hour.
I thought it was 23.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was pretty
hold
close.
on, let me check.
Something like that.
Oh, it is 22. All right, never mind. Yeah, sure, it's Mims.
All right, so Giuseppe's coming back with a second question. We're going to pop it up here. Already starting T. Higgins. Do I start opposite of him, Kenny Golladay or A.J. Green? Golladay.
Yep. I know the Xavier Rhodes is a tough matchup, but he wins contested catches more than anybody in the league right now, or him and Mike Williams. But he's catching the ball when it's thrown to him, and I like Golladay.
And they create that play for him. They build it around. They build the game script around Kenny Golladay and get him open.
Yeah, for sure.
They design plays for him. That's the phrase I was looking for. And then another thing, I wouldn't want to play 2 wide receivers in the same game. No. T. Higgins is the obvious choice there because of the target share. I wouldn't want to play AJ Green and T. Higgins in the same game. That's a tough predicament. And Giuseppe, if you can, try to trade AJ Green for something
while he's hot.
Go out there and pick up I don't know. Who do you think?
If you're not starting him this week, if you can get somebody that doesn't know that Will Fuller's the wide receiver 6 at the moment, you know what I mean? And you can trade AJ Green and something to get somebody like Will Fuller coming off the bye next week, or even a Christian Kirk who's on the up, and you can get him going for the rest of the season. He might be a better wide receiver 2 down the stretch than AJ Green.
Or go try to get Deebo Samuel. He's banged up right now. I mean, I think people might do that. You know, if you don't need him week to week, I mean, you already have Kenny Golladay and T. Higgins. If you can get rid of AJ Green for injured Deebo Samuel right now.
DJ Shark on a bye. Something along those lines.
You might be able to do something with that, and that may help you out going towards the end of your season. But no, that's a great question, Giuseppe. Thanks for joining in. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
All
I'm looking
right.
at here. All right. Where we at in the matchups, boys?
Well, we were at the Packers and the Vikings, and I think we were unanimous,
Unanimous.
unanimous
Unanimous. Okay.
that the Packers were going to win.
Unanimous.
I think he's a wide receiver for them. Equanimous St. Brown.
Okay, unanimous.
Unanimous St. Brown.
Unanimous.
St. Brown.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna move back to the East Coast. No, we're not.
No.
Sorry. Oh, maybe that's why I got some of the weather wrong. Oh man,
Why?
because I'm a dope.
Are you looking at?
We're going.
No, I know this was Kansas City. All right. It's
Oh.
just, I put so much work into the show sheet sometimes. I challenge myself on a
You
daily
sure
You
basis.
do, and it always looks so good, and that's why I hate myself on Sunday mornings when I do things like, I don't know, lock the keys in my girlfriend's brother's wife's car 45 minutes away, or daylight savings. Throws me for a loop because you really do put together a beautiful show
I don't
sheet,
understand.
and
I
it's-
just don't understand how you sleep in on the day of
that you got extra
that
sleep.
you got an extra
I had to
hour.
go
I
back
don't
to
understand. It's the life of me. It's like if I sleep for, like, if you, all right, so here's, you're supposed to get 8 hours of sleep, right? If I get 8 hours and 1 minute of sleep, it's like my body's like, oh, I guess we need another 8 hours. And we just, like, it rolls over. It's like rollover minutes or something. I don't know, whatever it is, but
Roll over Z's.
rollover
This one might be a little bit of a snooze fest. Like if you were only watching this game, you might be able to go to sleep in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Take a little nap.
You could take a
Like,
nap.
This one's out of hand.
One. Kansas City is going to crush the Jets. Kansas City, it's a 19.5
Vegas agrees.
spread. I
That's
think DraftKings
sad.
has it at 20 points right now.
Yikes.
And the over-under is 49. That has not changed.
No.
But I think it's the Chiefs win this game pretty
Handily.
unanimously
Unanimously.
across the board
Unanimous.
here. But there are a couple pieces that I want to talk about in this matchup.
For sure. If fantasy wise, there's a lot of impact there.
And obviously you're playing Mahomes, so we really don't need to talk about that too much. But CEH and Lev Bell, it
Mhm.
is Lev Bell's return up against the Jets, and I think he's going to get some revenge.
I think so too. You heard a little bit of Mahomes and Andy Reid talking about praising Bell and how much they can use him out of the slot and playing him outside, even split out. No Sammy Watkins in this game. There's an opportunity for him to get some work in the passing game, and they're going to show the Jets what they're missing, man.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. I'm not gonna disagree with you there. That's for sure. I think Travis Kelce also eats in this one.
Sure.
Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, Demarcus Robinson. Obviously, you would pick Tyreek Hill if I said to pick one, but can you trust any of these three to actually have production on a weekly basis?
No, boomer bust. Boomer
No.
bust with Tyreek Hill right now.
Yeah. Really
And last
is.
week it was
There's-
Mecole Hardman that got in the end zone, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
I
I
don't think he did, because you know
I
me.
can't remember.
I have unfortunate, sad shares of Mecole Hardman everywhere,
I offered
of
you
which
Tebow
I've
for him
dropped
straight
it.
up.
I know. Listen, I know you did, and I held on. I'm holding on to him in
No, that's
Dynasty
my
because-
mistake. No, he did not get in the end zone. He only had 2 targets. He caught 2 balls for 57 yards.
Yeah, I had to cut him loose in a couple leagues.
Yeah, well, that's the play right now.
But that's
do what you gotta do. If they're not
Pat
producing, you
Mahomes
gotta cut
does.
them loose.
Pat Mahomes does what Tom Brady does, which is he throws to the open receiver.
Yep.
He's not trying to feed a specific guy because you have to feed that guy. Like how everybody's talking about Baker feeling better now because he doesn't have to worry about taking care of OBJ. It's like and this is how it should be. These are your pass catchers. Here's the quarterback. Find the one that works and throw that person the ball. I'm pretty sure that's how football is supposed to be played. Not
Yep,
This
that's
guy's
how they do
special.
it.
That
You
sounds
how
hit
they
about
the
right.
nail on the head there, Mr. Swanson.
some of these teams. They do like this. Well, this guy is special, so we should give it to him because he'll cry if you don't give him the ball.
Well, I mean,
Yikes.
that's one of those teams
Come
that
on.
we're about to talk about right here in the New York Jets. And you really don't have much of a choice here. The main guy you would go with is Jamison Crowder. He's been injured. I'm pretty sure he is not going to play today.
He was doubtful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doubtful.
Yeah.
Perryman is out with a concussion.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden you're looking at Braxton Berrios, who we've seen shine
Yeah.
a couple times, Jeff Smith, who we've seen fold a couple times, And then the rookie Denzel Mims, who pretty much had a great game last week, considering 4 receptions on 7 targets. And it looked like he was the guy Darnold was looking for.
Yeah, they're going to have that chemistry. They drafted him to be that alpha, that one, to play alongside Darnold and build the offense kind of around those two. So I expect a heavy dose of him, especially if they're just coming from behind, trying to, claw their way into this game somehow.
We got a couple questions that came in.
Yeah, I just
wanna
wanted to
rapid fire
squeeze in
these
the
real
other
fast.
side of that matchup so we could.
Yeah, before we got to the questions, it's about to be question season.
Yeah, it's about to be question time. So go ahead, pop up the next one on
Well,
there.
yeah,
for
that
us.
game's
Next
easy,
one,
so it's over.
returning
you know what I mean?
viewer. What's going on, Sarah? Thank you for
Sarah Riley, what's up,
Welcome
Sarah?
every Sunday. What's up? Sarah's question is to flex Jefferson, Robert Woods, Travis Fulgham, or risk starting Carson.
Well, I mean, you're not risking starting Carson because you can play the Fulgham game late. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Fulgham
so
tonight.
that's probably
So I would probably go that way.
Yeah,
I would-
and it would be Fulgham for me. If Carson, or it's either Fulgham or Carson.
Right. Like if Carson's going to play and he's going to be the starter, I probably go Carson, but Fulgham has the great matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. Jefferson didn't play really in week 1. He was just coming back, coming into the season, so he didn't get much burn. But I expect Jair Alexander to pivot and go stick him instead of Adam Thielen.
Really?
I think you want to take away the best guy, and right now the route runner, the one that's beating you over the top, is Jefferson.
I think either way, Kevin King can stick
King's
him as
too,
well.
Yeah. So I would temper expectations on Jefferson. Robert Woods is going to either get Byron Jones or Xavier Howard. Either way, he's getting a really good corner matched up
I think
against him.
he gets Jones this week.
Probably. I would say so on the right-hand side. So that's a really tough one. So it's Fulgham late if Carson doesn't play, but Carson's your one.
Yeah, Carson's your one, then it's Fulgham. I agree.
Yep. Thanks, Sarah. We're
Sarah.
gonna jump.
Great tilt. Hey, good team you got
Great
going on
team.
there, right there. If that's your flex options
She knows what she's doing.
all day.
That is a great team.
Thanks for tilting
You know
with
what I
us
mean?
every
Yeah.
Sunday, Sarah. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm gonna go jump back to Giuseppe. Giuseppe wants to know Ayuk or Galladay PPR.
I like this one, Chef.
Ooh, wow, man.
Because you want to say Kenny Galladay, but
You want to say Galladay, right?
Yeah, but Ayuk is a guy that I have fired up in every single DFS. No matter which corner from Seattle he gets, Trey Flowers is allowing 12.2 fantasy points. Outside, Quentin Dunbar is allowing 12.7. And Shaquille Griffin, if he plays,
No, he's out.
he's out, and he was giving up 18.6. So
I'm pretty sure he's out.
You almost wanted him to play. And you got to think that the 49ers are going to have to throw the ball to do
Confirmed out.
confirmed out. So
Yeah.
so even more reason. I think I'm going to go Ayuk on this one. And I know it's not super popular, but like he had 6 for 115 against the vaunted Patriots defense. So why not Ayuk?
Oh,
I have both of them going in a lineup today, but if I had to pick between the two, I think Ayuk is the play, man.
I think I like Bourne in that matchup than against the Seattle Seahawks. Actually, he's the more of the straight line guy. Brandon Ayuk is the gadget play guy,
Right.
and for that reason, I'm gonna stick with Kenny Galladay here and not get cute. I drafted Kenny Galladay to be my starter, and I still think he is the focal point of that passing offense in Detroit, and they're going to give him shots. And you saw him last week, he was great with the contested catches. I believe he
Right.
went 5 for 5 in a row.
Right.
So all his catches were contested
Every
catches
single
last
one,
week.
yeah.
And I think even though he is going up against the Colts, who have a pretty strong defense, I think he gets the job done. So yeah, we're split on this one, man.
Yeah, we are split on
man.
this
I
one.
know.
I think Ayuk outperforms him this week, though.
I'm trying to think.
It's going to be close if he does.
Yeah.
Like if I were to be doing this, I think I would go Galladay because I think you drafted him, like you said, to start him. But at the same time, that being said, I think this week I would get cute and I would start Ayuk. I think I would.
The matchup and the
Just
gadget
because of the matchup and I
Well,
think
it's
that's
2-1 there,
probably what I would
Giuseppe. You
go.
heard it first.
Because I believe
You're
in the
taking
Colts
Ayuk
defense.
over Galladay, and
The safe play, the one that you won't be kicking yourself for, is playing Galladay. But you'll also be kicking yourself if you didn't start the guy that the numbers tell you probably will have the better, the more productive game. And I think that's Ayuk this week.
If you're playing okay.
Next question, Matthew, back at us. Aguilar or Justin Jefferson? And we talked about this a little bit earlier.
We did. Aguilar, because if we're right,
Yeah, he gets Denzel Ward.
then you got to go Justin Jefferson and take
Yeah.
your chances that they're playing from behind and he gets involved and the talent wins out.
Oof. Yeah, it's going to be tough.
It's a tough tilt, but anybody who's going up against a guy like Denzel Ward, he's in that, the Bradbury, the Ramsey, the Casey Hayward. Those are guys you're staying away from. If you can avoid it and just leave it alone, because some of those guys make players go away. Really good ones too.
Yeah, and it was earlier in the week that I thought that Nelson Aguilar was going to get the other side, but the more I dug into it, man, the more I learned that Henry Ruggs might be the actual smash play in that matchup.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one.
Jay's coming back.
Raiders or Browns?
Money line. Raiders.
The
Raiders.
Yeah, I'm taking the Raiders in the money line on that one. It's going to be close, and that's a smart play to play the money line.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Also, Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow from Giuseppe Russo.
Giuseppe, this is a good tilt.
Ooh, both are playing in the rain and in the wind. I'm going to lean Lamar Jackson.
Yeah?
Yeah, because of the running. Because I know he's going to get the running work. With Mark Ingram being out, we saw him run. Oh man, maybe not. Oh, I'm tilting too.
Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna go with Burrow, man. Like I said, because he's not throwing the ball whatsoever. Lamar Jackson, again, 4 out of the last 5 games, he hasn't had 200 yards passing. That they look terrible. I know they're coming off the bye and they might have fixed some things, but against that Steelers defense, I think I'm going to stay away and I'm going to go rely on Burrow to Higgins, maybe trying to make it a game against the Titans, and who have been susceptible to the pass. And he always comes from behind and finds a way to throw for 300 yards. I'm going to go Burrow.
I think you deterred me. Yeah,
I think you're right.
Yeah, I'm jumping.
I know it feels horrible. Like like what are we doing here? It's week 8 and we're saying Joe Burrow over Lamar Jackson. But
but how many times this year have we said one guy over Lamar Jackson? Teddy Bridgewater over Lamar Jackson a couple weeks ago. I mean, these are.
I traded Lamar Jackson for
Justin Herbert
earlier in the season, and it's paid dividends already.
Yeah,
was that Dynasty?
No, unfortunately.
No, I have Lamar in Dynasty or a Dynasty league. One of them. That's
I have Lamar in a couple dynasties as well, and it's I'm kicking myself because you got him with the first pick in startups, and I was trying to be cute and go with the running guy because you get the running points, and it should have been Patrick Mahomes the whole way.
Yeah, that's the right answer.
Oh man, it's killing me. But anyway,
great tilt though.
Great tilt, Giuseppe. Thank you.
Good team either way. You got a good team.
Next question from Matthew. Oh, a defensive question.
I like
KC or Philly? KC.
Benvenucci, brother.
KC.
Benvenucci. I'm going to Philly. We gotta go with the Philly, man.
Yeah.
They're great against the run already. And they're facing a quarterback that's untested, unproven, throwing against Slay in them. And that KC game, they're going to play that vanilla stuff late in the game, and they're just going to let the Jets put up a little bit of points or drive down the field a little. I'm going Philly.
Yeah, that's why I think Philly, because I think KC's going to on from a football standpoint, from a money line standpoint, they're going to win that game. But I feel like it's just going to be a lot of 3-and-outs and punts. I think Philly's going to force more turnovers. So I think your defense is going to get more. Hopefully your defense has points for.
And that's the 8 o'clock game. It's going to be cold, 49 degrees, 21-mile-per-hour winds.
And
football weather.
7th round draft pick quarterback that's replacing Andy Dalton on a team that lost 4 offensive linemen and has looked like doo-doo.
I do get Jason Lane Johnson back today.
Well, the Eagles do. I'm saying, but the Cowboys don't.
The Cowboys.
They lost 4 offensive. They lost 4 offensive linemen too.
I think the Irish coffee's starting to kick in. I got to switch to beer. Good morning.
I'll stay with the Irish coffee.
Oh, I'm drinking coffee for sure.
All right.
Good tilt, though. Good tilt.
Great
Brad
tilt.
Bolt from down under, my man.
Yeah. Pick 2 flex spots. Goddard, Ayuk, Judy, Fant, and Fulgham. Wow. Is it tight end premium?
Boy.
If it is.
If it's tight end premium, yep. Well, yikes. Well,
I definitely want. Wow, it's going to be tough.
Ayuk for sure for me. He's a smash play for me.
Yeah, we already mentioned Ayuk.
Yeah, man.
And then I guess I like Fant. I really like Fant in this one. And I know it's a tough matchup against the Chargers, but I don't know if I can put him up over Fulgham.
Well, there's no Derwin James. The other safety, Adderley, has been beat by everybody in coverage. Yeah, I mean, I like Murray though, Kenneth Murray, the linebacker, to be able to cover Fant a little bit, and they've been using Albert O. So I think I might go with a receiver that has a chance, and I'm going Ayuk and Fulgham.
I'm going Goddard and Fulgham. I'm going full birds. Birds off
Wow,
Brad.
that's
Let's
not a
go.
homer pick at all, Brad Bolt. Don't worry.
It's not a homer pick. It's not.
No,
It's really not.
I'm going with Ayuk and Fulgham in this one. You're right.
Wentz is so happy to have anybody healthy to catch a pass. Anybody healthy to catch a pass, and this is going to
Fulgham's
be
been
his.
doing it.
He's going to look
Fulgham's been doing
great.
it, and he gets
Fulgham's
Trayvon
been doing
Diggs
it.
today.
It's going to be.
Who's
I think
been
it's going to
beat.
be Goddard
He's
and
got to be the
Fulgham.
worst shadow cornerback in the league.
Yeah, I mean, he's a rookie. He's got talent. His brother Stephon, like, you know what I mean. But he's a talented player. He played at Alabama, but he's been susceptible to getting beat, and I think Fulgham can beat him. I think your Birds win this week. Too easy, Mr. Swanson. I think
Oh
it's
yeah, it's we're
full
gonna
out.
win this
That's a
week.
smash win right there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next question from Giuseppe. He wants to know Kendrick Bourne or Tevin Coleman.
Oh, that's a good one too, Chef. You mentioned Kendrick Bourne a little bit ago.
Man.
I like Kendrick Bourne in this one, guys.
I do too, but I don't know if
they're going to have to stretch the field. Seattle throws the ball a ton, and they will keep trying to throw the ball to keep up with them. Kendrick Bourne runs that straight line post pattern. He is the guy to stretch the field. Brandon Ayuk, like we mentioned earlier, is the gadget guy, the Swiss Army knife, very similar to Deebo Samuel. And Kendrick Bourne, I believe he is going against, let me get it up here.
Quentin Dunbar?
Well, he was going up against Shaq Griffin, so he gets the backup to Shaq Griffin.
Okay. Yeah, eat all day. And the 49ers move everybody around, and they do all that. And it's great because all the corners on Seattle are susceptible to the pass and to getting beat. And there's questions about JaMychal Hasty. So I don't want to do the Tevin Coleman, JaMychal Hasty dance. Like, I don't want to do that on the other side. Yeah, I think the safer play is Kendrick Bourne.
And you're welcome.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Matthew Hancock coming back.
Oof.
Leonard Fournette or Zeke, PPR. And I hate to say this.
You're going to go for it, aren't you?
But I'm going to go for it and say Leonard Fournette. Reason being, Leonard Fournette getting in the majority of the play when they're ahead. And I think Tampa Bay is going to be ahead on the Giants this week. Yeah. Yes, they're going to try to feed Zeke, but to what extent? We saw last week he fumbled. He's fumbled in 5 times in the past 6 games?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And then the Eagles defense is strong against the run. It's not they're not exactly pushovers, and I can see the Cowboys going 3 and out a lot in this one, and the Eagles just taking over with the run game. And then the Buccaneers, same thing. I think they have a chance to play up against that Buccaneers defense. That Giants defense, and just run the ball as much as possible. And I think Fournette will be the primary guy. He's getting the passing work last week. He's primed for an RB2 role this week. And if Zeke flops again, I think they're pretty close, but I'm going Fournette for the upside. I'm sorry.
I don't know what to do.
It's not
you don't have to be sorry about that one, because the only question I have is whether or not Ronald Jones is going to eat into the work, or which one of them is going to get the lead. That's the only question that I would have, because whoever the starting running back is for the Bucs going up against the Giants, I would take that guy. If I knew his name was Fournette, I'd take him. But either way, you have to temper your expectations with Zeke, because that Eagles defense, they're 7th against the running back position. So if a team is, stopping the running back, and you're going to have, I know they're going to have to rely heavily on him, but that rookie quarterback and the turnovers, I think it's Zeke is done early, and Tony Pollard just kind of killing the clock at the end. And the Eagles just win that game.
Right.
The Eagles handle their business. So the upside play is Fournette to fall into the end zone and to be up. And like you said, at the end of the game and killing it, Fournette's the battering ram.
And we saw running backs, in particular, David Montgomery, a poorer running back, get passing work. And if Fournette is getting the passing work, then it's going to be Fournette. Yeah, I like him because of the upside of the passing game. That's it.
Good question. Good tilt.
Great question, Matthew. And yeah, he said he was he was leaning Fournette, and we just pushed him over the top. All right, our guy, Mini Jordan 718. Good morning, fellas. Hey, what's up, bud?
Good morning. What's up?
Good morning, New York.
Full PPR. Choose a running back and flex. Singletary, Swift, Justin Jackson, or Deontay Johnson. Ooh, Juan, you want to start this one off? These are some of your guys here.
Yeah. You know, I love the Deontay Johnson love is real for me, and I know it's a tough matchup against Baltimore. Man, this is a really tough tilt. But if I'm gonna I have to start Singletary. 103 yards to Philip Lindsay, and then the Jeff Wilson game last week against the Patriots. They've been leaking, so I'm gonna go with Singletary because I want to have that one solid running back that I think has a chance to succeed. And then as far as my flex, you know, I love me some Swift, but I think I'm going to take Deontay Johnson, man. Every time he's healthy, he gets double-digit targets, and I know the vaunted, you know, Ravens defense and all that. I got to take Deontay in the flex. It's PPR, full PPR.
My choices here are Singletary and Swift. I want to stay away from that Pittsburgh game. I think it's going to be a slop fest, low-scoring game. And I think Swift with the upside of the passing work, and Singletary is obviously going to get the start, even though I think Moss starts to take on a little bit more, maybe close to a 50-50 split. I think it's Singletary and Swift for me, and I'm staying away from Justin Jackson going up against that Denver defense.
I dig it. Yeah, I'm going to leave Jackson alone.
Yeah, I'm trying not to play him anywhere I can.
I mean, the whole Josh Kelly thing too, like that gives you a lot of pause. So those are good picks. But Singletary is the smash, I think, consensus. I don't know, Mr. Swanson.
I go Singletary and Swift for the passing work with Swift as the flex.
I dig it.
Right on. Yeah,
I'm a little scared of Darius Leonard.
Something's going on by Mike. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, you're
hey.
You're good.
Yeah, I go Singletary and Swift. I agree. I want to stay away from that Steelers game.
I like this. We're going jumping back and forth. We got YouTube in the house, and now we're going back to Facebook.
Going back to Facebook. Yeah, Mr. Tim Barrett. Thanks for joining in, Tim. He wants to know Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, or Boston Scott. Pick 2 PPR. Ooh.
Well, Taylor's one of my.
Taylor,
I have him in every DFS.
That is,
absolutely.
That is a smash 100%.
Yeah,
big time go. And then after that,
it's Boston Scott for me. Miles Sanders isn't going to play. We talked about them running down the clock. I don't see Corey Clement getting that much work. Yeah, I think it's Boston Scott and Jonathan Taylor for me. I like Scott getting a full workload over Swift against a tough defense.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. You just leave Swift out of this one against the Colts.
I'll take Scott over Swift.
Nice.
All right, Mini Jordan 718 coming back at it. Choose a defense: Chargers at Denver or Colts at Detroit.
Give me the Superchargers.
Superchargers?
Yeah, give me the Superchargers. I know the Colts defense is vaunted and all that stuff, but it's just that Matthew Stafford's going to find a way to at least put up points towards the end of the game and make the offense move. You kind of trust them to be able to do that. And, you know, Locke hasn't looked great, and he's been kind of prone to making mistakes. I'm not sure if Philip Lindsay's going to play. So, yeah, that's a low-scoring kind of affair. And anytime you get a Bosa brother, go with a Bosa brother.
Yeah, I think Lindsay is not going to play, but it's not official yet. We're reaching
that.
We got about 5 more minutes to jump on there.
You know, I love my Colts, but I think I'd take that Chargers defense over the Colts if I had to pick those between those two.
I think they're going to shut down the wide receivers, and I think he's a little bit more susceptible to turnovers.
Right.
So, yeah, I would go with the Chargers on that one as well.
Yeah, more likely to make a turnover is Locke over Stafford.
True.
All right. Matthew Hancock wants to know Cooper Kupp or Devontae Parker.
Kupp.
I like Cooper Kupp in this one, and I
stay away from Devontae Parker this week.
And
I think he gets Igbenogany. In the slot, and he's young, and we've seen him get torched a little bit. When they moved Stephon Diggs to the slot, he absolutely taxed them earlier on in the season. So I think that Cooper Kupp is the play, and he's the red zone favorite of Jared Goff. And Parker, like Mr. Swanson just said, stay away from Jalen Ramsey. Like, please, folks, leave Jalen Ramsey alone. I know Mooney almost beat him over the top, and Gallup almost beat him, but
those are really fast players.
I know, right? Those are guys with a whole ton of speed. So
I'm leaning Cooper Kupp here as well. I'm staying away from Devontae Parker.
It's a Dolphins fan telling you, leave Devontae Parker alone.
All right, and headed over to Twitter. And once again, guys, if you're out there looking at us, we are live every Sunday, 10 a.m. To 12 p.m., answering your flex questions, answering your Sunday tilts. I don't know what happened there. I think we just lost Mr. Swanson.
We may have.
But all is well. And we also do our podcast live. So if you guys are around Wednesday nights at around 6:00 is normally when we kick it off, and we don't schedule it. It's not a scheduled timing or anything like that. But we usually have a lot of fun. We think of fun things to talk about with fantasy.
That was weird.
Yeah,
That was
I got
You're
kicked
back.
out. Yeah, I saw Jalen Ramsey coming. Had to get out.
All right,
cover.
so yeah, this is Neil, and Neil, I believe, is a Twitter
Neil.
follower.
What's going on? That's my boy.
Oh yeah, that's your boy.
Yeah. What's up, dude?
So Neil wants to know Deontay Johnson, Juju, Sterling, Shepard for my left. That's a half-point PPR. So yardage will be key in this one.
Deontay with the yardage.
Deontay with the yardage. Yeah, I think so too.
Ooh.
I agree. I mean,
I'm scared of the Bucks, man. Carlton Davis, Jamil Dean, like they've been playing ball, dude. Like and I mean they are gonna have to throw it, and he seems like he's Danny Dimes' like favorite target right now. Holy crap! Are we about to pick Sterling Shepard?
I'm going
my
true
goodness.
blue here, guys. Sterling Shepard.
dude,
I am not
watched that
trusting
happen.
these guys up against the Ravens D in the rain.
Right.
I and the Giants, as much as I love them, and it's not a homer pick at all. Sterling Shepard did get the most targets last week. He is not going to draw the main coverage, and we've seen Tampa Bay give up some shots down the field, and Danny Dimes will have to take some shots to stay in this ball game early and often, most likely. So yeah, I'm going with Sterling Shepard to have at least a decent game, maybe 5 for 50, and possibly get into the end zone.
I mean, it's a low floor kind of game. I'm going to take my chances with my boy Deontay Johnson, man. Again, every time he plays, he gets double-digit targets. He had 14 last week. Like, if he's going to play and he's going to get the targets, I got to ride with that opportunity.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's an ugly tilt, though. Neil,
This is
thank you for
tough.
the tilt.
That's a
'cause
tough one,
We
pal.
love these. We love when the tilt is real. That's where we're here, man. And
All right, this next one, Greg Ward, thoughts. I might have to go into free agency. I got Hopkins out for this week.
oh boy,
All right, so players that you would want over Greg Ward that were available on waivers. Hang on a second, guys. Here we go.
Let's do it. Oh,
Let's do it.
boy.
yeah.
There we go. Let's see.
Ayuk, that ownership jumped for
Yeah.
Ayuk this week. Like jump.
Jalen Reagor, I would go over Greg Ward. He might be available, but maybe not. Darnell Mooney, I wouldn't trust him this week. He's on the bench down there for a reason.
I wouldn't go him over Greg Ward, no.
Ayuk, Aguilar, Higgins, and there is Sterling Shepard on there as well. Even Cole Beasley up against New England. I think he may actually have a sneaky game working in that slot.
He seems to be Josh Allen's favorite target right now. Like I know
Yeah.
it's Diggs and he's the one, and Brown's back and he's healthy, but man, he loves Beasley.
When
on
he's
third
pressured,
down.
he loves
Loves
Beasley.
him.
Yeah. So those are a couple of guys that you could add in there. You could see the availability on there as well. Carlos Hyde, in the earlier of the week when this was slated, he was still in the ready to play, but that turned rather quickly. Same thing with Trey Burton.
And yeah, Matthew, going forward, Matthew Hancock, you can check this out. The chef does a great job with this, and he puts this up every week. He puts a lot of work into this research, and he makes this list early in the week. Like Tuesday night, this list is usually ready to go, Tuesday afternoon. And you can make your waiver wire pickups based on this list. And one of these teams, like this team right here, like I know Hyde is out, but a team like this can beat a lot of fantasy teams out there if you can put this team together. So
yeah, check it out. It comes out, like Juan said, every Tuesday afternoon. Normally, I usually have it done by about 2:00 in the afternoon.
I was just giving you a little leeway.
Yeah, that's okay. Usually have it out by about 2:00 in the afternoon. It's up on our Facebook page. You can find us at the Tilt is Real Fantasy Football Podcast Facebook page. Also, www.thetiltisreal.com is posted up as there, and on Twitter at TIR_pod. So if you're on Twitter, Matthew, jump in there, man. Check us out. Same with Facebook. Yeah, and check out our website. Some nice articles on there. And yeah, that's it.
Salute.
Salute.
Well, I was saying salute to Mr. Swanson.
Yeah, I know. I was
because
reading. I saw it.
Bree said, "Bless you." I said, "Salute."
Yeah, I've been over here. I'm doing the morning thing.
The sneeze fit.
Sneeze fit in
My
the morning.
sneeze fit, yeah. I got 4 sneezes out of 32. 4 of them are out
Cheers,
of the way.
Mr. Hancock, all day.
Love it.
Actually, all day.
All day.
IPA. Hashtag not a sponsor.
Hey.
Not yet.
Hashtag not yet. Thanks, guys. It's beers and wings time. Yes, it is.
And we're actually 2 minutes away from active and inactive Mr. Swanson breaks the news time.
Yeah,
That's
we
my
like
favorite.
that.
Yeah, we
That's
love
the
that
best
one.
time. Oh, I got some stuff coming in here now. Dalvin Cook warming up. He's active, full go.
Bundled up. Look at that. Dalvin Cook warming up and bundled up.
And bundled up.
Bundled up Cook.
Yeah, well, he's not going to be bundled up this week, man.
Yeah.
He's going to fly free. He's going to run the table. And let's get back to some of those matchups that we were talking about here. And I think we left off on the Chiefs and the Jets. So we're going to move right into the Dolphins and the Rams here.
Tua season.
Oh, man.
I'm not excited. Don't worry, people.
The warmest game of the week. It is. The weather is going to be 85 degrees. It's pretty nice down there in Miami. And the Rams come into town with a 3.5 point favored by 3.5 points. The over-under only a 46, which is kind of low.
Yeah, that's because we play D in Miami, bro.
Speaking of defense, I think the LA Rams know how to play defense pretty well. Ranked 7th against the pass, running backs 7th, and wide receivers 2nd. Tua's coming into a tough matchup for the first start of his career.
Indeed, but there's a couple factors, Chef, that people don't pay enough attention to. This is the 4th time that the Rams have to travel cross country to come and play a football game, and it's an early 10 o'clock in the morning body start for them because they're from the West Coast, okay? That's number one. That's obstacle number one. The other one is they've played the NFC least and the Chicago Bears. That's their 5 wins. They haven't beat anybody real.
They almost beat the Bills, though.
Almost, and they were down by 30. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they were, 29, they were down by. So, and the Bills beat us by 3. So, like, we're not, this game is, it feels like, yeah, the Rams should win the game because they're probably the better team at this juncture. But we're for real, and we've been scheming, and we've been on a bye, and they made Tua the starter for a reason. And this game, that 3.5 is like a little tease, like, go ahead and take the Dolphins because if they lose, it's going to be by 3. Like, we're going to put up a fight if we don't win the game.
Yeah. I think they're going to put up a fight.
Tua, baby. I'm telling you, like, we forget a year ago, calendar-wise, exactly 1 year ago, we were tanking for Tua. The league was tanking for Tua. Before people started talking about tanking for Trevor, people were tanking for Tua and saying he hurt his hip. Like, we forget how special this kid was, bro. Like, what kind of ball he throws, the mobility, the accuracy, the way he manipulates safeties with his eyeballs. Like, the things that he can do were what teams, entire franchises were planning on losing on purpose to get him. And the fact that he got hurt and slid and we had to wait to see him, like, people forget. And I'm telling you, they should play the music when he comes out today. Forgot about Dre. Like, y'all forgot about Tua. Like, watch this boy.
I don't think anybody's forgotten about him.
No, they have, bro.
I think we've been waiting
love is
for
real.
him.
The Burrow love is real. Lee Fitzpatrick, and they're winning. Why are they taking off Fitzpatrick? Because Tua was who you were tanking for. He gives you the upside. He gives you the ceiling.
He did have a bye week to get ready for this game, so we'll see. I know he's a homer in this at this point, folks.
The homerism, sure, put that in there, but you can't discredit.
I'm not discrediting.
No, discrediting beating the only wins you had were against the NFC East and the Bears with Nick Foles. Like, the what is impressive about that? Like, yeah, you're 5-2, but there's fantasy teams out there in your leagues that are 5-3, and you're like, or 5-2, and you're like, wait a minute, you guys are 5-2, but I've scored 150 more points than you. Like, you just got lucky and you beat bad teams.
Yeah, possibly.
Right.
We'll see.
We will.
We'll see. I don't like. The one thing I do like about the Rams offense this week is the running game. All right, Miami does give up points to the running backs. They are 24th, giving up 21.6 fantasy points per game. I'm rolling with Henderson in this one. He's got a good matchup here. And I think Miami shuts down the receiving game pretty well with Xavier Howard. So, yeah, I like the running game here on the Rams side of the ball. Look for Jared Goff to just be a game manager in this one.
Yeah, Xavier Howard had an interception 3 games in a row before we went on the bye. Like, he's been opportunistic, and Byron Jones is finally healthy and back fully. You know what I mean? So, like, if we're
I mean, you were playing the Jets, the 49ers, and the Seahawks.
Yeah, but we picked off Russell Wilson. Like, he picked off Russell Wilson.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah. And we played them tough, too. That game came down to the wire. And we lost to the Bills by 3. I'm just saying, records say one thing. And, you are what your record says, whatever. But who you play matters. Matchups matter, and styles make fights. And I want to see this game.
This is definitely one of the games of the week.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of those games that I am interested in watching on the big screen.
But I do agree with you that Darrell Henderson's a smash play this week, and he's been getting the workload, and he's been playing pretty well. And
if we have the same DFS matchup again this week, I'm going to be so mad. And it's usually off by like one guy, and we don't correlate on this at all.
We don't show each other.
We don't show anybody
until 1 o'clock, and then it always ends up being close.
And he always beats me by a damn point.
Yeah, 1 or 2. It's close.
Higbee's active.
Higbee is active. Well,
Higbee is active. A'Shawn Robinson inactive.
I would stay away from the tight ends in this one. Miami does a good job, only allowing 4.2 fantasy points per game to the tight end. And with Higbee active, he may be a kind of a decoy guy. He had the hand issue. I think if anybody's going to get the targets, it's going to be Gerald Everett, and they're going to have Higbee blocking on the inside.
Yeah, whoever's in the slot, Cooper Kupp, Josh Reynolds, whoever lines up in the slot against Igbinoghene has a chance to produce. And then the tight end, Jerome Baker's real, dude, number 55. You can watch that boy. He covers the tight ends. He floats around. He plays a lot, like almost like a strong safety as a linebacker.
Just looking at something real fast. No, okay.
But yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a close game, hard fought. And yeah, Aaron Donald is real. Much respect to Aaron Donald in that front line. I understand, but I think they've been scheming at it, for a little while to be able to get away from that pocket and move Tua and let him use his athleticism and move out of the pocket. And it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a good matchup either way.
Yes, sir.
It's probably like Juan was saying, one of the real tests for the Rams going up against a stronger defense.
Right. Listen, we gave Seattle work and we beat the 49ers. We stomped the 49ers. We didn't beat them. So I get it. They
wasn't that the game where they pulled Jimmy G because he wasn't healthy, though?
Correct.
That was the Nick Mullins game.
Yeah, then Jimmy G tried to play through the injury and we took him. So,
Yeah, the 49ers were really banged up, but hey, a win's a win. And that's what happens. It's any given Sunday.
Yeah, they're banged up, but they're 4-3.
And this Sunday, I'm looking forward to watching this game. Are you trusting Myles Gaskin in this one? Up against the Rams defense, it's going to be a tough one, huh? But you kind of have to play him
if you have to. It's tough, you know what I mean? David Johnson's out, James Robinson is out, like they're on a bye, you know what I mean? So you have the situation might lead you to have to do it.
Agreed.
Yeah, I would say the situation leads to it.
So
it doesn't feel as gross as some other pieces that you would have to put in. It really doesn't.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind starting Myles Gaskin. I know it's a tough matchup, but I like the boy.
Right on.
Okay, indeed.
Oh. All right. So, Juan, since you are the homer in this one, who are you taking? Are you taking the Dolphins with the spread? The Rams giving 3.5 and the over under 46. What say you on the outcome of this game?
Cover 24-21. We might lose that game 24-21 or 27-24.
All right. That's pretty close.
Kupp scares me against Igbinoghene and beating us and maybe some kind of missed tackle situation back there. But I think we keep it close. Okay.
All right. I'm taking the Rams to win this game. I'm not messing with the spread on this one because it could go either way. If I had to take a team with the spread, I might be taking the Dolphins.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying we keep it close. It's a 3-point game. I feel like it's a 3-point game.
What about you, Mr. Swanson? What do you think there, bud?
I think they cover. But I think the Rams might squeeze this one out. But like you said, I think it'll be close.
All right. Another close one in hand. Moving on to the next game.
Fun to say for the Dolphins. Just keep these guys close, man.
Indeed.
You know what I mean? I'm fins up. Oh, I'm with you, dude. I think both of us are. We're fins up, man.
Oh yeah, and you got the whole world with you this week against the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody hates the Cowboys. You know what I mean? So the whole world is an Eagles fan tonight.
All right, breaking news.
One of my best friends is home, and he's sitting on my couch, and he's a Cowboys fan.
And this will change things up that we talked about.
Shout out to Hyde. Sorry, Chef. Go ahead.
That's all right. I got a little breaking news. I got some in and outs for you guys.
I don't have
as Mr. Swanson said, Higbee is playing. There is an Indianapolis Colts. Mr. Michael Pittman Jr. coming back on the field is active this week against the Colts, which changes everything.
Boy, I didn't get that one. Let's go. Okay.
Yeah, this is coming
Pittman's coming
from
back, huh?
Ian Rappaport. Cornerback Mike Hilton from the Steelers is out. David Bakhtiari is out. Mark Ingram is officially out, and John Ross, again from the Bengals, is out. So those
All
are a couple
right.
guys, and I'll keep an eye on things going through. My Twitter is blowing up as we speak. Trying to keep as much as we can.
Jamison Crowder is officially out.
Oh, you got some? Yeah, if anybody else has any, put them in the chat. We'll talk about them for you. Oh, we got a question from Adam Polio.
Adam needs help. T. Higgins or Nelson Aguilar?
Higgins.
Higgins.
Yeah, Aguilar's getting Denzel Ward. We're going to leave him alone this week.
Yeah, I like Higgins. I like Higgins in this one. That was a good one.
Yeah,
we went over that game.
Yeah,
at the
we
top
talked.
of the show.
Yeah, we talked about
in depth.
Yeah, definitely T. Higgins. I'm getting all the updates now.
All right, as you're doing that, I'm going to keep rolling with the Steelers versus the Ravens, 1 p.m. And we were just talking about Mark Ingram is out. Baltimore giving 4 points. The over-under is 46.5. This is going to be a wet and nasty one, man. And we talked about it a little bit earlier with one of those quarterback questions. Lamar Jackson, it's going to be another tough game for him. Pittsburgh, number 6 against quarterbacks, giving up only 15.8 points a game, man.
Yeah, and they're like number 1 in everything else too. So that's one of those teams, and they can afford to do a few things. They can afford to bring down a Terrell Edmonds or a Minkah Fitzpatrick and kind of spy on Lamar and contain him with those 2 edge rushers and TJ Watt and Bud Dupree and make his life really difficult. That's why I think there's a chance that Dobbins can rip off a few of those runs on those zone reads and that RPO game where they commit to containing Lamar, and he already gave it to J.K. Dobbins, and he's able to rip one like Miles Sanders was able to do against the Steelers not too long ago.
Yeah, I could agree with you there because, I mean, the Steelers, one place they do give up points is in the passing game. And if it's going to be raining, it's going to be short passing.
Right.
That's why I kind of liked Mark Andrews a little bit more over Jared Cook. And, yeah, like you said, Dobbins, if he gets the passing work, Dobbins is the guy.
Right. Look, some screens, they over pursue. They're a little bit aggressive. Nobody blitzes more than the Steelers. So the only way to beat that is through the screen game and that short passing game. So,
but it's a tough one. On the other side of the ball, oh, wait, you can take a shot on Hollywood Brown this week.
For sure. Because if you are going to beat the Steelers, you can beat him with a deep shot. Plus, he's got the speed to be able to make you pay on a slant and go. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one spot that they are doing poorly in, though, passing the ball.
You know what, though? Snead in the slot, sneaky, because Hilton is out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe there's a chance for Snead to get some of those plays, and it's a garbage type of game where he gets like 6 for 70 or something, or he's the one that finds the end zone, you know, for Lamar this week. So,
yeah, but Lamar, man, I can't believe we're saying this.
I know.
Week 8.
Yeah,
I know.
Totally not what we expected. It's totally 2020. On the other side of the ball, Big Ben, tough matchup, but should get the job done here. Baltimore's given up some passing work.
They got some gamblers in that back end, and Marcus Peters likes to poke his head and look at the quarterback and eyeball him a little bit, and you can get beat by double moves. And that's why I like Deontay Johnson, because he's a good route runner, and he's able to make that kind of a move where he might catch Peters peeking and he can beat him. The only problem is Ben threw 3 picks last week, and that kind of scares me a little bit. And the Ravens just added Yannick Ngakoue to that already good defensive line. So now you have Calais.
He's not playing this. Is he playing this week?
I'm not sure if he is.
I don't think he is.
Oh, he might not have cleared the protocol yet.
Jimmy Smith. I'm looking at the injury reports right now.
I haven't seen him on it right here.
I don't see Jimmy Smith. He might be
I have
playing.
an updated one. I think he is playing because it would have had him out.
I see him as listed as questionable with the Achilles. That's about it for Jimmy Smith.
8 chills.
Yeah, let me see if I can update it here. Oh, wait. Yeah, I got the full list here. Who were we asking about?
He's
playing.
Yeah.
He's not out. Tracy McSorley is. Oh, that doesn't matter. Whoa. You got a couple of linemen are out. Brad Bredson. I don't know who these people are. I'm not even going to say it. Yeah, we're just going to pass on that. And then for Pittsburgh, since I just updated it, let me check it out. Michael Hilton we said was out already.
Yeah, Mike Hilton's out.
And that's pretty much it there. And that's who would be covering. I'm sorry,
Juju?
I'm losing.
Willie Snead
Willie Snead
in the slot. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Hayden's going to get Hollywood Brown, and if they do some blitzing and leave them alone one-on-one, that could be a
Hayden
recipe
can
for a
get
touchdown.
beat.
Yeah. By the speed of Hollywood Brown, anybody can get it.
It's just a matter of if Lamar Jackson can make good passes and good decisions with the ball.
And now it's raining and it's windy, and
he may just want to run.
TJ Watt and Bud Dupree are on your neck. Yeah, it may be a game where he gets it back to the 100-yard Lamar Jackson form, and he gets 100 yards rushing on you, and he breaks a couple long ones. You never know.
True.
That's why they drafted him.
Yeah, he's on the cover of Madden for a reason.
Legs. Yep.
All right. No other updates so far, and we probably won't get any updates until later on in the game. Later on today about these 4:00 matchups. We're going to move right into the LA Chargers versus the Broncos. We talked about this a little bit earlier with some questions. Sure. The Chargers giving up 3. The over-under is 44.5. Questionable tags all over this matchup. Philip Lindsay with a concussion still hasn't been cleared. Tim Patrick doesn't look like he's going to play with a hamstring injury. Fant is a go.
He's a go. Yeah.
Joe Butt is irrelevant.
Jake Butt.
I'm sorry. Jake Butt?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know why I wrote Joe Butt. Joe Butt? Is it Joe Butt?
It's not Joe
Jake
Butt.
It's not my butt. It's Joe Butt.
It's Jake Butt.
Jake Butt.
State of Michigan.
And Virgil Green being placed on IR, which was like a sneaky little extra for the Chargers. He actually caught that. Didn't he catch that tight end touchdown pass a couple weeks ago? I believe so.
That leaves Hunter Henry as the, instead of losing that target down there near the red zone, it helps him out just a bit.
Just a touch, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who do you guys got in this one?
The Chargers.
You got the Chargers?
Yeah, I think they're better than their record.
Great. Yes,
I think
they lost a lot of heartbreakers to Herbert's lost heartbreakers to Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Yeah, this is the Chargers.
Oh, and one key piece of information here: AJ Bouye is back, and he's playing the right side. So I'm trusting Allen. I'm trusting Williams, staying away from Jalen Guyton, who's gotten a little bit of work as of late on the right side.
Right.
Don't get cute with this one. If you don't have to pivot, that's pretty much it. Hunter Henry, I don't trust him. He's a fade for me.
So are we trusting Justin Jackson to be the lead back there?
Yeah,
because that's the only question. I mean, you're starting Melvin Gordon, you started Noah Fant. Those guys are guys that you're playing. You have to you drafted them to start them. But like on the other side, there's that question of Joshua Kelly, Justin Jackson.
I think it's a 60-40 split, 70-30 split. Justin Jackson.
Yeah.
And Denver has allowed 100+ rushing yards in every game except for Week 3 versus the Bucs. I think it's a split work thing again, man. And I think Justin Jackson gets the majority of it.
Okay.
But Herbert, man, I'm so excited to see Herbert up against Denver. I think he's going to rip him.
Yeah. He's been hitting 300 yards against everybody. He's on pace to smash 47-34 by Andrew Luck and the 27 touchdowns by Baker.
He's on pace.
All of it.
And you just mentioned Drew Lock. What's he doing this game with Tim Patrick out, Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, but you have Casey Hayward and Desmond King back there. They are no joke. They will slow this offense down. There is a benefactor that I want to talk about, though, and that's Mr. Noah Fant.
All day.
He is the guy that will benefit the most in this offense, and we saw it in the beginning of the season, and he's fully healthy, ready to go.
Yeah, I think that's going to work. It's whether or not they can establish a little bit of a running game with Melvin Gordon and they can start to get that play action game going. But I think Noah Fant leads that team in targets this week.
I couldn't disagree. I'm not going to disagree with you on that one.
Yeah, I like opportunity, man.
And you're obviously playing Melvin Gordon without Lindsey in the fold. We don't know, even if Lindsey does play, we don't know how much work he's going to get. He might be on a snap count. Anything else for this one, guys? Who are you taking? We're taking it. Go Chargers, go.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Chargers. Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the 425 games. And we mentioned this one quite often. We've gotten some questions about this one. The Saints going into Chicago to play the Bears at 425. New Orleans giving 4.5 points. The over-under is only 43.5. There is terrible wind. It's the Windy City. It's going to be cold, 37 degrees, 23-mile-per-hour winds. And we got some great news last night about Allen Robinson cleared concussion protocol in the middle of the night and will start well, not in the middle of the night. I'm sorry, middle of the afternoon. Didn't practice, but cleared protocol, so he's a go.
Right.
Are you trusting him against New Orleans and Marshawn Lattimore?
Well, Lattimore's shown that he can get beat, and then the other thing with Allen Robinson is like up until last week, I'm pretty sure he had at least 9 targets in every single game. So you have to trust the opportunity, and you also think that New Orleans moves the ball, scores on people. You have to try to keep up at some point. And Nick Foles is gonna look Allen Robinson's way. So yeah, I trust Allen Robinson.
What about David Montgomery?
Yeah. See,
you're kind of stuck playing him, aren't you?
Right. It's the situation. Like, what's your roster look like that you have a better option than David Montgomery, even in a tough matchup? Like, how do you justify sitting Montgomery for who? Like, unless you have the third guy or whatever that you can put in, or it's hard to justify.
Even if you went running back heavy in your drafts or with your rosters, it's bye weeks. You're most likely
Montgomery or Singletary.
Singletary.
Yep. Cool.
That was quick.
Yeah.
No, I was just thinking, that just popped into my head. That's
a good one. That's a good tilt though. But yeah, like if you have that option, sure. But then I'll ask you, Mr. Swanson, Myles Gaskin or David Montgomery?
Oh man, dude.
David Montgomery.
Oof. Oh, man.
I'm sorry, you asked him and I jumped in there. Sorry.
No, you're right. It's David Montgomery, but it's
tough,
I want
right?
it to be Myles Gaskin, but I hate to say it. It's David Montgomery.
And especially now that he's getting all that passing work too at the end of games and whatnot. Like there's no, it's him.
Yeah.
Another great play in this one going up against the Saints. Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, boy.
All right. Yeah. He is a nice play this week. Mm-hmm. He's had at least 5 receptions and 30 yards in the last 2 matchups and is turning into that end zone target or the red zone target for Nick Foles if and when they get down there.
If and when, yeah.
But I think they do against the Saints. The Saints do give up points and yardage, especially the tight ends, 12.6 fantasy points, one of the lowest in the league.
For a while there, the first 5 games of the season, they gave up a touchdown every single week.
They also played I think they played Waller. That was the game Waller smashed against them.
Yeah, but for 5 straight games, whoever they played, they gave up a touchdown. Hunter Henry got one. Like everyone they played against got one.
So Jimmy Graham is in line to get his, huh? Mm-hmm. Or Cole Kmet.
Right.
It could be sneaky Cole Kmet. And that would be a snipe. But yeah. All right. On the Saints side of the ball, Michael Thomas confirmed out. Still dealing with his ankle or hamstring injury. So we have Traquan Smith, Deontay Harris, and Marquez Callaway is a little chipped up as well.
Right.
So what is going to happen this week? Do you trust Traquan Smith up with Chicago?
Not with Kyle Fuller on him. No, it's tough to do that. I think they have to rely heavily on the running game. And then earlier on, that was a great question about Cook, because if you take into account all the missing pieces, like Kamara can catch 12 balls, but that doesn't help you get down the field as much as, if you can find a way to stretch it a little bit and get Cook going. And they don't have many receiving options right now. I don't like the Saints situation in this game, but I still like them to find a way to win it.
And I heard Khalil Mack throughout the week was having a little bit of problems. He didn't practice that much. He was very limited on Friday and Saturday.
He's been like that all season, and then he finds a way to play.
And he finds a way to play. And then, I'm pivoting away from Drew Brees if I can.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's not one of those quarterbacks that I actually pinned on my rosters this year. I own 0 shares. But Alvin Kamara is the only guy that I truly do trust to get some work in this one. Maybe a little bit of Latavius Murray as a sneaky flex play.
Yeah, he gets a little bit of work, but I don't like anybody.
Just because they're going to run the ball a lot.
Correct.
In the wind.
Oh, he'll get more than 10 carries, Latavius Murray. I mean, if you get double-digit carries out of a running back, he might be able to have himself a good game. And they like him around the goal line, too.
So with that being said, and it looks like, we don't really like David Montgomery. We only like Alvin Kamara. Do you think the Saints pull this one out?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have them in all my parlays as winning this game. Yeah, the Bears are not what their record says, and the Saints are better than they are, and the Saints got to win the game.
Mr. Swanson,
Yeah,
how do you
Saints.
feel about this one?
No, I feel the same way. I think the Saints or the Bears are not what their record is. Is not what their are not.
Their record
They
is.
are
win
what
this
they
game.
thought we were. No.
They are what we
Sometimes
thought they
people
were.
think it don't be like that, but it do.
They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Yeah, I
Danny
think the
Green,
Saints
rest
hold
in
this
peace.
one out.
Danny Green.
Well,
rest in
it's gonna be
peace,
a
man.
gross weather, wet, windy game, but I think the Saints pull it out.
But not in
Who
this
else we
West
got?
Coast matchup. And this one we talked about. We were not going to talk about it too much because we already talked
We
about
have
it a
been
lot.
covering it, yeah.
And I don't see anybody live too many. There's a couple people there watching us live still.
Real
and
quick before we
Yeah, go ahead.
jump in, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is for next week, but I'm being told, which is always cool to say. Like, got it. Gardner Minshew is expected to miss next week versus the Texans.
It's probably a Mike Glennon thing, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Or the rookie.
Luton, nah.
Jake
Or
Luton.
however- yeah,
Jake Luton.
Jake Luton.
It's
Jake
gotta be
Luton. Jake
Luton because
Luton.
there's no double T in there. I was already having
Yeah,
that
I think
argument.
it's Luton.
Luton.
Maybe it's Luton. Or maybe it's
But
like
it's on.
Tua's last name.
Oh, maybe
where there's
Luton.
letters in there that aren't even in there, like
Yeah.
N's and stuff. Tua Trunkanunka Bucka Viola. Why is so cool, man?
Tunga Vailoa.
Boys, we're an hour and 5 minutes away from Tua season.
Ooh.
I love it. All right, let's go. 49ers, Seahawks, 425.
Yeah, we mentioned this game, and you're starting all your stars. You're firing everyone up. We're monitoring the Chris Carson situation an hour and a half before that game time to see whether or not he's going to play, and then you make your pivot as needed. But we talked about everybody else is pretty much somebody you start. You know,
You're not starting any of the tight ends, Olsen or Disley.
Nope.
No.
Not against Fred Warner and Quan
Not on that
Alexander.
side of the ball.
Definitely firing up Tyler Lockett,
No.
DK Metcalf,
Indeed,
because you
for
have
sure.
to. David Moore, you're probably staying away from. We talked about the Carson, and this is the main
Pivot.
thing of the Carson pivot. What happens? Can't trust Travis Homer. He's a definite game time decision. And it's going to be game time decision for Chris Carson, Travis Homer. And if you have DJ Dallas and you looked at that waiver wire sheet, well, actually, no, he wasn't. Maybe he wasn't on him.
No, I don't think he was on that one.
Yeah, because it was too early in the week. We didn't know. He will be the only healthy running back regardless. So Carson coming in, he might be on a snap count.
Hyde was on the sheet because we
There's
thought
a
he was
chance
gonna
right
play,
now
and
that
then he
you
went
can
out.
actually go pick up DJ Dallas now.
Yeah, right now. You could
Like
probably pick him up.
immediately
Yeah,
right now. If
'cause-
you have DJ Dallas, if you're the Chris Carson owner and DJ Dallas is out there and folks don't know,
Yeah,
make a spot
grab him
for
because
him.
it makes your pivot
Yeah.
easier. Yeah.
Absolutely.
On the other side of the ball, Jimmy G, you're starting him up this week. Seattle just gives away points to the quarterback.
Mhm.
We talked about Jerick McKinnon dealing with tired legs. I just don't
Tired
get it.
legs, man. I have tired legs all the time. I still go to
Well, the
work.
whole
I
thing
know,
was
my
they
legs
were
are tired
resting
right
him
now.
for this week.
Right.
But then you hear about Tevin Coleman coming back. So it's some kind of snafu there where when I really don't like it. I don't want to stay away from it. Unless you have to, you're playing either Tevin Coleman or Jermichael Hasty. I'm staying away from it. It could be a three-headed monster, and you just don't know.
If they're going to win and they're going to be up, it's a three-headed monster. If they're behind and Russ is cooking, then it's Tevin Coleman because he's the natural pass catcher out of that whole group. Even if Mostert's healthy and everybody's healthy, Tevin Coleman's the pass catcher. He's the third down back. So I like Tevin Coleman.
And then we talked about how we liked Ayuk and Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah, indeed.
Especially Bourne without Griffin. Griffin's hurt in this one, so he's getting the backup. And we saw what can happen with that. I mean, D-Hop just tore open when Griffin was off.
It's going to sound crazy, but 60 fantasy points per game to the wide receiver position allowed per game by the Seattle Seahawks. They've given up 360 points through 6 games. That's unreal.
Crazy.
Yes, it's torch season against that team. So it'd be crazy for Shanahan to not try to exploit that. You have to give it a shot. I know he likes to run the ball and impose his will, but you got to throw the ball against that team.
And that's why we love Russell Wilson so much, because their defense is very poor.
Yeah,
and
he's
keep throwing.
He has to keep cooking. Yeah.
All right, I think that's about it. Any more injuries come in while we were going over that? I don't
No,
think
I'm
so.
keeping an eye on it. Nothing yet, though.
I got some stuff from
Waiting for
Stefania.
him.
Let's see what she's got to say. Frank Gore is active. Damian Harris is active.
Indeed. Dalvin Cook is active. Adam Shaheen for the Dolphins is active. Mo Alley Cox is active. We talked about that earlier. John Ross is out for the Bengals. Mark Ingram's out. We talked about Crowder's out. Micah Hyde out for Buffalo.
We didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And that he's a really, really good safety, and it's going to be all on Jordan Poyer on the other side to be the safety help. But Buffalo, we've seen give up a little bit to a lot of different people. So, like,
yeah, but they're not really giving up too much against a quarterback that can't throw the ball.
right, down
And
the
you
field.
can't trust Cam Newton's arm right now. He's ghost passing out there. He's missing 15-yard passes, throwing it 8 yards into the dirt. I'm not trusting him. I am benching him. I'm putting
Chef,
him.
this is the Rex Burkhead game, Chef. I
It's
get
the
that
Damian
ugly.
Harris
I get
game,
that ugly
man.
feeling. I get.
You think it's the
I
Damian
think it's
Harris
Damian
game?
Harris. If I have to trust one, it's Damian Harris.
He's definitely on the ground somewhere.
It's between Damian Harris and James White for me.
Yeah, I think it's the Burkhead game. Ugh.
Well, either way, we all agree that it's one of those running backs.
For sure. For sure.
Let's move into the
Expert
8:00 game.
analysis.
The prime time matchup, and we touched on this
A lot too.
quite a bit with the questions out there, and I love that, how people just come in and they ask their questions, and it helps the show.
It makes the show.
Yeah.
Sure, it makes
It
it,
makes
run.
the
And we
show.
just touch every single game. Yeah,
And it was the reason why we
Guys are
started
awesome.
this Sunday show.
that's why we did it for the
Sunday
tilt.
tilt.
The tilt is real.
So Cowboys versus the Eagles, 8:20 matchup. Philly giving up 9 points in this one. The over-under is only 43. Injuries real fast. We all know that Andy Dalton is out for this one. He needed to practice yesterday and did not. Alshon Jeffrey still not taken off of IR. I don't know what the heck is going on with that. Deshaun Jackson, he is back on the IR after a one-game return with an ankle injury, and Miles Sanders is officially out this week. He did not practice in full at all, dealing with the knee, and I think they let it go through the bye and let him get healthy
Indeed.
for the end of the season, considering they are in first place and they will be pushing for the playoffs.
It's the most ridiculous thing.
They're going to win this game, though. The Eagles. You know what I mean?
We're gonna win this game.
Yeah.
And any of you guys that have been trusting Carson Wentz to actually be your quarterback, and it was harder to do with the schedule earlier in the season, it's starting to open up for him a little bit, and I really like him in this game against Dallas. He's been doing it all. He's been running the ball. He's been throwing the ball when has to. He's been hitting small, tight windows with the ball, especially the last one to Boston Scott to win the game last week.
Putting his heart and soul out there, man. He's doing everything he can.
He's doing everything right.
Mhm.
And I think them bringing in Jalen Hurts has lit a fire underneath him to saying, hey, I need to get back into my my real NFL condition here and do my thing and make everybody remember why I'm here.
I agree. 100%.
Yeah, the
And
Cowboys. Go ahead.
what? Cowboys what?
Oh well, they're 27th against the wide receiver position. You know what I mean? So like, this is a game where you can have Fulgham and Greg Ward and introduce Rager to the world. You know what I mean? And like they can have a lot of success against that Cowboys team, and for that reason, it'll make Wentz eventually have a good game as well. So yeah, fire up your Eagles. I think in this game.
And we talked about this a little bit earlier, and I want to go back to this. Excuse me. Anthony Brown, the cornerback for the Dolphins, and Juan, you are the defensive guy
for the Dolphins.
I mean, for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said Dolphins. I was
wait a
thinking
minute.
It's okay.
Doll.
Because you were thinking Juan's Dolphins.
Yeah,
Dolphins.
I was looking at Juan, and that's what it is. He's ranked number 1 in touchdowns allowed on the team. He's the guy to beat, and I believe Rager is going up against Anthony Brown. He has 4.33 speed. He is clocked in the 95th percentile in bursts in speed score. He's a good cornerback. I think it's what's the shadow guy I'm thinking of? Diggs. Diggs is the guy that's going to get beat. And if that's the case, it is Fulgham in this game, and Rager coming in might be on a snap count.
Oh yeah, they're going to ease him back.
And we saw how Deshaun Jackson got worked in and out throughout the game. He had some work, but only on some deep shots. And I think they do try to take a couple deep shots with him, but I think Fulgham is the guy over Rager in this one.
And Ward in the slot can have success as well.
Correct.
You know, especially with Goddard back demanding a little bit of attention from the linebackers and safeties. There's going to be holes in the zone for Ward. Ward can have one of those sneaky 7, 8, 9 catch type of games in the slot.
Not to mention, I mean, it's going to be a Boston Scott kind of game.
For sure.
They're going to want to run the ball and control the clock and just walk out of there with a win.
Yeah.
And
But they're going to throw to get up.
Scott, yeah, they're going to throw to get up. In between Boston Scott and the receivers, too, you have Goddard, who is a late addition and is going to play. So you kind of have that middle spot there, too. And I think Goddard's going to have what you would normally expect from Zach Ertz.
Yeah,
I wouldn't expect much from Zach Ertz even when he was
Last
on the
year.
field.
Right,
but,
okay, you know what I mean.
The tight end for the Eagles, yes.
He has Zach Ertz value where you drafted Zach Ertz because you were drafting Zach Ertz to be Zach Ertz, and then Zach Ertz ended up being Zach Ertz himself all the time.
Yeah,
but hey, that's why we have that's why we have Dallas Goedert.
You're in good hands with Goddard.
Yeah.
All right, and that's it. Basically,
like
we're going to the Cowboys and get to do a little Cowboys bashing here at the end.
Why? Yeah. I mean,
why are we here?
I don't want to kick them when they're down.
We already talked about it a little bit with Zeke being downgraded, and I on air I admitted that I'd probably play Fournette over Zeke if I had to. He's downgraded to a low end RB2 for me this week. That Eagles defense is no joke. They are ranked 10th against the run, giving up only 16.4 fantasy points per game. And you may see Tony Pollard a little bit more like we did last week. In the passing game, what do we do in this one?
All right, here's what we do. It is.
Who are you playing? Are you playing Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, or Michael Gallup?
I think if you drafted them and if you have any other pivot, I absolutely would. I 100% would. Gallup's going to be a ghost. There's no way that DiNucci has enough. Like he's not going to just be chucking balls down the field against the Eagles defense for Gallup. He's been targeted 8 times in the last 2 weeks without Prescott. And out of those 8 targets, he has 2 catches for 23 yards. He's just not getting done with the stretch. I feel like Cooper's probably going to get targeted because he's the big guy. He's going to be, DiNucci's going to try to hit him underneath. Lamb might also get some of that, but I think Cooper's going to get the slate treatment. So out of these 3, I think Lamb has your biggest shot to have any sort of fantasy impact. Maybe Schultz is roped into that same conversation as well. But this is a difficult one, man. It really is. I don't like it for any of these Dallas pass catchers.
The one guy, I like it, and I'll piggyback off of it and throw some more gasoline on the fire for CeeDee Lamb getting some work. Cre'Von LeBlanc, who is the slot cornerback, he is out this week for the Eagles. I think CeeDee Lamb this week could be a good roll of the dice if you have him. And
all of them.
Yeah, I mean, so many games are bad weather games. I think CeeDee Lamb here, they are going to be playing from behind. You know it. And they can't just utilize the running backs. They're going to have to throw the ball. Normally with rookie quarterbacks, they're going to go down to the person that they train with. And CeeDee Lamb, being a rookie, has gotten in the most work with DiNucci. That's it.
Yeah, the familiarity should be there between those two. I completely agree with that, Chef. And CeeDee Lamb's the smash play for this week. We have a late question here from Adam Polio.
Do we?
Yeah, if you could pop that up on the screen. And we kind of answered this one earlier, so it'll be an easy one, but we will run it back for you. And the answer to that question is
T. Higgins
all day.
Yeah, I thought we answered that real fast
already.
Oh, did we? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought it was new. My bad.
That was like 45 minutes ago.
All right.
The last one was Bud Johnson, that young boy quarterback, called out the Eagles D.
Did he really? I didn't see that.
Yeah, well, he'll be eating his words later and eating some grass with it.
Yeah. have a little Fletcher Cox here, kid.
Yeah. That is so funny. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, he's going to have to rely on the slot, though, Mr. Swanson. That was great analysis because I really do think that it's Schultz, Lamb, and the running backs out of the backfield. That's the only way DiNucci has success.
All right, I think we covered all the games. I don't think we need to get into this Monday one. We'll be joining you back tomorrow night. Yeah. Tomorrow night we have the Monday recap, Monday Night Football preview, and the Sunday we recap the Sunday games. Yeah. I'll be giving you a couple new waiver wire tips coming out after this on that show as well, maybe. And that's pretty much it. I think we're officially done here, guys.
It's officially Tua season.
Good for you,
all
man.
of you out there that have checked us out and hung tight through the whole show, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Love it. Yeah, thank you guys.
You could find me. My name is James. You can find me at FF_chef on Twitter. And my co-host, Mr. Juan Carlos Pena.
And you can find me at FF1 of a kind, or you can read my work at thetiltisrael.com. And we are now at joinourcircle_ with Fantasy Intervention.
And our producer, as always, closing us out, Mr. Swanson.
Hey, this has been a great show. Thank you guys, everybody who listened. Great tilts today. A lot of really good questions, a lot of good stuff in there. Good luck, everybody. You can find me at FFJawn, JAWN Swanson on Twitter. And yeah, that's it. Again, good luck, everybody. You got a lot of time ahead of you. I'm gonna go turn on some Scott Hansen. Watch me some Scott Hansen. Never take a breath, nonstop. That man is unbelievable. I'm excited for the Finns. I'm excited for the Birds. Let's go.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate you. And check us out next time on the Tilt is Real Fantasy Football Podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Tilt is Real Fantasy Podcast. Check out our website at thetiltisreal.com for weekly articles, breakdowns, and more. Follow us on Twitter at TIR_pod. We'll see you Tilters next week.